Okay. GunGamers Podcast, episode 30, the big 30, way after we probably should have, because I haven't been doing this regularly, but yeah, I'm here with my co-hosts, Eric and Kaylee. Garrett's going to be joining us in the near future. He's late, as always. Fuck you, Garrett. But yeah, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
God.
It was so funny, like,
minute.
having to start off with, like, the small talk of how you doing tonight, like, you know, as if we haven't been talking for the last, like, 20 minutes.
If only people were on the inside of the secret pre-podcast before the podcast.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's the real spice, you know? Actually,
Yeah.
the after podcast is the real spice, because by then we've all had a few drinks.
Absolutely. I mean,
It's true.
I'm not drinking tonight mainly because I've got to, like, I don't know, I'm already tired from having to do the actual, like, work stuff, so.
Wow.
Ooh.
Big
Yes.
worker.
Jobs
Yeah,
are
man.
lame. Well, I'll drink for you. I'm drinking some Ardbeg Wee Beastie.
Nice.
Not my favorite Ardbeg, not my favorite Isla. I like it, but I would definitely say the Anoa or the Ugdal are much better Ardbegs.
Is that from Compass Box? Or the subscription
This?
service? Yeah.
No. This is not from the subscription service. I bought this because I saw it. And Juan in the chat, we have not gone to MSW yet. We're going to MSW next weekend. This weekend, I was out camping at Hunter's Creek with some of the GunGamers boys. You were busy doing work things like a scrub. And Kaylee, what were you doing?
I was at DFE, actually, playing some airsoft and doing some milsim, which I thought you guys were doing the milsim this weekend, but I guess not, because
Nope.
Ian's been, like, talking about all the prep work for the past, like, 2 weeks, so I was like, okay, this has to be the weekend that they're going, but
No.
I guess not, so
Well,
it
it's
was
the same
just me.
people running DFE and Milsim West. They can't
Yeah.
be in the same place at the
Yeah.
same time. Two places.
Well, I was like, I got confused like twofold because I'm also in like the High Desert Milsim West group for Victorville that does like they've always run like Russian kits like at Milsim West, and they were all talking like, that they were at some event, and then I realized, oh, they're at DFE, but I didn't see anybody because Mark and I were like hiding away from everyone because we didn't want to get sweet COVID. So
Yeah. So, well,
with 600
there goes
plus
monetization
people
for
there.
that. There goes monetization for this podcast. You're probably going to see that nice little COVID-19 banner under the fucking YouTube video if you're watching this afterwards.
Click here for more information.
Click here for
Oh,
more
damn.
information.
Oh,
But yeah,
God.
that'll.
I'm sick of talking about COVID. We're not going to make it a point.
No,
No,
so,
definitely not. But that
this-
was like didn't see anyone because of that, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, that all
Yeah.
ties into the into that basically the entire topic for this podcast, which is getting back into airsoft while everyone is taking a nice long break.
Yeah.
Yeah, last weekend, which myself and Eric went down to Zulu 24 for their
And Corey.
for their expo. Yeah, and Corey. Corey came as well, and so did the Omega dudes and a couple other neat people. Played a little bit of airsoft down there, and went a lot better than our normal excursions with that group of people.
Well, I mean, we actually we managed to do some work and not just get killed horrifically every time.
Yeah, dude.
That is better than normal.
It was good. There was like some actual like communication and
Damn.
tactics and movement, maneuver and fires, and I was pretty happy, man. It was good stuff.
That's
Well,
the
I-
dream right there.
Yeah.
I was so worried that I'm like, oh God, I haven't played since August. I'm gonna be coming out here just a total scrub, so fucking rusty. But I got the groove back pretty quick and managed to do some cool stuff. So it was great.
Yeah, man. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that DFE had some interesting events. You were talking about those before the podcast, Kaylee.
Yeah. So couple of interesting things actually. So there was one I didn't discuss before the podcast, which is pretty hilarious. But in chronological order. First was the meth lab discovery. So I think that was during the first game when everyone was starting to explore the field, for the first time. And Mark and I were just getting onto the field. I think the game had started and we got like really lost in the beginning because of course it was all my fault. We missed like the deployment, like the briefing and where our spawn was. So we kind of just got lost on the field and then ran to some dudes that were just like, yeah, so like we were just like checking out, the area around the spawn and like trying to figure out like where we could get like some good, you know, like scouting and see where the enemies are. And we just kind of walk into this building and all of a sudden we see these electronics everywhere and these like red lights blinking, and we realize that there's like all these cameras like inside the building, and we keep like going in because we're like really confused like what's happening, and we see like booby traps and like tripwires, and then we go in like further and we see like there's just like boxes of like test tubes and like chemicals and all types of stuff. So they just like were like, and that's when we decided like, hell no, we're backing out of this.
Yeah, that's not part of the game.
Yeah. And he's like, they probably saw on their cameras like a bunch of dudes in tactical gear rolling in with guns, and then like freaked out thinking that like the ATF or the FBI or someone was like coming in to, crash their little meth party there. So the police had to come and like kind of quarantine that building, and they were like searching on a different area. Like I think like Jet and Leah kind of shut down, well, and Josh like shut down that area of the field, and the police came and just had to deal with that. And yeah, so we didn't get to go back onto that area of the field after that. That was the end of like that section, which, I mean, Victorville's kind of known for that, because I think at Lion Claws just earlier this year there was like a body discovered on the field.
They did find a corpse in Victorville.
Someone who had OD'd or something. So it's not like that shocking. Like there are a lot of like tweakers and meth heads out there. So when I heard that, I was like,
well, Josh got attacked by meth head bikers a couple of years ago out of Victorville, didn't he?
Well, that's why I think like one of them carries a handgun. So in order to like fend off against crazy crackheads at Victorville, because it's just a place like it's just ripe for squatters. So
yeah, I mean, that whole AO is like really abandoned, and but it's a whole bunch of buildings, so it's
a whole bunch of buildings. Like you could literally like live in one, and no one's really gonna be coming around. I know like police sometimes do training exercises in there, but it's pretty easy to avoid them, and you could just like hold out in a building for the longest time. Like you go through those buildings, you'll find like trash and mattresses and evidence of people like have been living there and stuff. And I mean, it's just so huge, like you could easily get away with it. So it's not like shocking at all.
And no more bikes.
Yeah, no more bikes. Well, except for Jet. Jet was going around on a freaking little motorized motorcycle thing there.
Oh man.
I guess not, but I saw that and I immediately was like, what is going on here? That's like the big no-no, but apparently it was okay if they do it, but us rest of the scrubs, we can't be riding around on any kind of cool bikes like that. So, which was pretty sad, because Mark and I, we love to play PUBG, and it's all about like drive-bys and like shooting off bikes and stuff, and that's like my dream right there, just like one-handed MP5 like as I'm riding around on a little motorized bicycle. But can't all be living the dream like Jet. Man.
I think that most vehicles at airsoft games are implemented poorly, so I can see how bikes would be poorly implemented as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we used to have bicycles back in the day.
Vehicles at events are usually just not very fun.
They did have a couple of.
Broadwing brings up a good point. Technically, there's no rule against segways.
Hoverboards, man. Gotta run hoverboards.
Hoverboards, yeah, you could bust a one wheel maybe.
Oh God.
Riding around like a Gucci hipster, with like 2 Mac 11s.
Listen, I'll rock the hipster.
7 Mac 11s.
We've already established what it is.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just rock that shit. But yeah, that was the first big, the big opening event, and then the next was like, I think the final count was after the second game, we were up to 11 fires, I think 11 or 12 fires. So
just all from frags?
Yeah, all from because smoke is not allowed at George Air Force Base anymore because of the fire hazard. So
yeah,
typically it's just like you can use tags and EG67s, but that's just not cutting it anymore. So there were like 11 fires. Some of them were like straight off the bat in like the first game. Because I know when we started the first game, I was just looking around and already saw a huge plume of smoke coming from one area of the AO. So I was like, well,
luck.
That's one of the
there we
best.
go.
That's one of the good parts of like living in New York is that it gets kind of dry here sometimes, but it's not like California where like a stray cigarette butt will cause a fucking forest fire.
Yeah, it's like so dangerous there, and it's so dry, man. Like you step onto the field and you feel like your skin just like instantly turns to like paper or something. Like it's.
Oh, we
nuts.
have a Garrett. Look who decided to join us.
How's it going, fucker?
I will be rocking a solid mustache.
Oh, gross.
Oh wow.
Awesome. I'm
Oh,
All
yeah.
mustaches all the time.
Yeah, man.
But I was also
So-
finishing up these for somebody.
Are those my
Oh,
old
nice.
RMV? Is that my old RMVG housing?
No, it's a BNVD, but it's got a
Oh.
multicam wrap on it.
Oh, isn't that neat?
Ah, there you
Ooh,
go.
Wow, classy.
Yeah. Kayla, you got to
So
get you some of
Thomas
those.
Hoffman in the chat just said, apparently you guys weren't alone. There were 5 fires at Southern Front with AMS and 6 grenade-related injuries. God, airsoft's dangerous. Why
What
are
kind of
we doing
grenades were they
this?
running? Jesus Christ.
I mean, the EG67s, like, they just fire shoots out of the top. Like, I've burned so many pairs of gloves just like pulling
I have
pins.
melted a pair of gloves with EG67s.
I've
Yeah.
never had this issue. That being said, I'm not sponsored by Enola Gay, so I'm not rolling up to fucking events like Kaylee is. No, just actually the way you
They'll have
explained it to me
crates
is
of grenades. Like,
yeah,
I
you're
just
showing up
roll
to you're
around.
showing up to open plays. You're just like, yeah, we just brought 50 grenades with me, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, they allow them at most of the fields here, so we just roll up like this is our opportunity to like throw as many as possible. So, like, we just bust out like 5 grenades per match, and we're just
You're just
throwing as
living
many as we
Garrett's
can.
dream, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wish I could get my 40mm order in.
Hey man, don't worry.
I don't know what's going on with it.
Iacovino left behind a substantial cache of pyro that we can break
Well,
into,
I can
and then
definitely
you can
replenish
replace.
it, assuming my order gets straightened out. But
Yeah. No, we'll be good on pyro for MSW. I'm not worried about that. But yeah,
Okay.
no, next weekend.
then I'll
says-
make sure the ML36 ends up back in the box of stuff I'm bringing.
Cool.
I
But
just got. Well, I can't hold it up because won't they like demonetize it or ban it or something like that?
we're already demonetized. We mentioned COVID.
Oh, okay.
earlier.
Got
Damn.
the old AR
F's in
lane
the chat,
over there.
guys.
It's definitely not a blank fire AR.
Well, anyway, so other than the fires in the meth lab, how was Desert Fox events?
I mean, it was good, other than the fact that I fell through a floor in the building. So
God.
that was right off the bat. I was crossing.
How
like,
many corpses are in alternate universes where any of these things didn't go well?
I mean, if my one leg didn't stay like above the floor, I would have just gone straight like 100% down. Like basically like half my body went down, and my left leg was holding my body like kind of up.
Dude,
like,
George
in
Air
the
Force
s-
Base sounds
in
like a
the
goddamn
floor.
death trap.
Yeah, but
this
I
place is
busted.
horrible.
I busted my knee super hard, and for the rest of the day, like it was just progressively getting worse until the night game, where I was like, my
Don't-
eyes were just like watering from trying to continue playing.
Garrett, you
Don't
didn't hear, but
I
Kaylee fell
fucking
through a fucking
know it.
floor at George Air Force Base.
What?
Yeah. So at George Air Force Base, like people have busted through the walls like all over the place with like pry
Okay,
bars
that I
and stuff.
expect, but the floor?
Yeah. So well, basically like I'm a skinny person, so like when
You
there's
are.
gaps, when there's a gap in the wall, there's clearly like usually going to be a gap between the floors because now there's no drywall there and there's not like floor between rooms, so like there was a gap there, and I was just trying to move between buildings. I think at the time we were getting shot at, so just wasn't paying attention like closely enough to my footing, and I just stepped right into that gap, and my whole body fell through except for my left leg, which kept me like half up. So I was kind of like this, like with the floor like up to here, and my
God.
leg sticking out, and
I'm guessing
Yeah, I had
Mark
to
was
just-
like right there. He's like, oh god.
no, Mark was like already 3 rooms down, so I was like, oh, I'm in the floor, and I had to like kind of grab onto the wooden structure that was around me to pull myself out. But
Yeah.
luckily I was able to get out, but I was all cut up on my leg and
Was your POV
my-
cam
And
running
your
at that
knee,
point?
it was all fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, my knee was all fucked. Yeah, no, sadly the
Don't I
POV camera
fucking
wasn't
know it
running.
with
I was gonna say
knee
Eric is very
injuries.
familiar with the concept of a knee getting
Yeah.
fucked.
So the rest of the day, my knee was like getting to that point where it was starting to like feel like, okay, if I'm keep playing, like it's just gonna lock up eventually, and I won't be able to bend it. But I took a break for a little while, and it seemed to like calm down a little bit. And Mark was like, "Oh, let's play the night game," and I was like, "I don't think I can play anymore." But then he was like, "Come on, man, we gotta do it." And I was like, "All right, fuck." So we played it, but I was almost in tears, like from the insane amount of pain. Like I was like, I might have to like get carried off the field at some point because I don't think I'll be able to walk.
Was this
but-
yesterday?
Yeah. So today I've just been pretty much just like laying in bed until I had to come over here and sit. So
I know that. Well, I mean, wasn't it Joe that fell down a fucking elevator shaft at one of the
Yeah, that was
At
at
Red
that was at
Storm
Red,
Red
Storm
Storm East? Yeah.
That was the first time. That was the first time I met Joe, or at least first time I knew that I met Joe and like really met Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we saw you at Hunter's Creek.
Was that before Red Storm East?
Pretty sure, because that's how we recognized you. You're like, oh hey, it's the guys from Hunter's Creek.
Yeah, okay, that was also 6 years ago now, so my memory is admittedly a little
Terrifying.
faded.
Absolutely terrifying to think about.
God,
God damn.
falling down an elevator shaft at an airsoft event is just that's hardcore, man. That's
Yeah,
like that
that's-
fucking GoPro
that's
footage that dude falling
scary.
off a roof at an airsoft event.
Yeah. That was in like South America, I think, is where that footage is from.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, you
terrible.
don't
Dude,
want that to
it's
happen.
horrifying, man. Like the feeling of falling through the floor, like I was like, this is it. Like in those like fractions of seconds, I was like, this is how I die. Like I die in the the shittiest place on earth.
The dumbest possible way.
Yeah, in the dumbest possible way, and like
Well, that's how it
that's
always-
my legacy.
That's how it always goes with like injuries and whatnot, though. Is like you never tear your meniscus or fuck your knee up doing something cool. Like I think every time I fucked up my knee, it was either standing up at an airsoft game or fucking slipping out a puddle of beer in a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never,
But,
How it goes.
never dealt with those issues.
Or you're like me and you have illnesses that you still go through MSW with.
Yeah, man. There you go. I rolled the shit out of my. That's
I
not
had
why.
3 stomach ulcers at my first MSW.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Oh, you don't remember that?
Were you at?
Oh,
was
God.
this Ceratop 1?
Yeah. No, this was Breakout.
My first MSW was Ceratop 1.
Oh yeah.
My only
first-
MSW was Ceratop 1.
My first.
Well,
my
until
first
Sarah's
MSW
Top
was
4.
Breakout.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, this
Nothing-
would be no. This
great
would be
way to
Ceratop
do a
5.
Great way to do a
Is this
second
5?
MSW
Oh, if you count
as fucking
insurgency.
cadre.
You guys didn't go. Guys didn't go to. I was the only one that went to 2. I didn't go to 3. You guys went to 3. 4 was Insurgency, so this is 5
Yeah.
technically. But I've got the keg rifle here.
Is that your AdPL?
Yep, got my app all set up. I'm not gonna bring a flashlight. I don't think I'm gonna need it.
I'm just rocking my mod light.
I have a
Flashlights
helmet.
are useless.
I have a helmet light and one of those Streamlight Sidewinder things that I'm just gonna clip to the flick as my red light.
Mine is my white light is so unfucking believably bright that I don't really think I'm gonna get much use out of it because like I'm
But
gonna.
of course, I got the K. I got keg serial number.
Oh Jesus! Oh, you laser engraved that, didn't you?
I did. I know a guy.
Is that an 80 lower?
It is.
Oh, there you go. Legal in
must
your
be,
state, so you're
must
not
be
gonna get.
nice. Anyway,
Wait.
but with the let's see. Oh
Can't
yeah,
wait to
people
use
are
this
people are
gun.
very excited about keg. Yeah, I mean that's what we've been preparing for because that's really our big return to milsim is Saratov this coming weekend, and
Yeah.
we've been preparing to roll keg, and that is I'm just so excited to actually finally debut that fucking kit because I've been building that kit
There's so many
like
fucking
since this
people,
time
dude.
last year.
I was gonna say it's been over a year, I think, since I had the kit built.
Yeah,
I wasn't
Corey.
we weren't gonna have it for Insurgency, but we
No.
were going to debut it.
Well, we
last
weren't
year.
planning on doing NATO for Insurgency. We were going to do civilian, and then
Yeah.
obviously, everything happened. But yeah, I mean, it's been Total Fan asked, "What is keg?" I'm glad you asked.
Oh Jesus.
So for those who aren't familiar, Task Force Keg is a U.S. Army 10th Mountain Division impression group that a lot of the GunGamers guys are running with, and was started by Corey, Ian, and Garrett. You guys are the three like keg dads, and it's it's gotta be.
I think I'm the only one that's not in like a platoon leadership position.
No, you're a squad leader.
I'm not doing any leadership. I'm a machine gunner. I am Grug kill.
I'm excited for it, man. It's going to be relatively simple, I think, for the first one, because we've got such an enormous outing of keg people that, like, it's one of those things where, like, if one person does
over 20 people,
we've got over 20 people. We've got over 20 people for keg, and then we also have some other people in our platoon that are all running their own impression. But I'm excited for it simply due to the fact that, like, even if we fuck up, we're still all fucking up together, so we can't fuck up that hard.
Yeah.
Well, a bad plan that everyone stupidly commits to is still better than, milling around and not doing anything.
Exactly.
This reminds me of when we had the entire command structure of Bad Blood.
God.
Isn't that over 1,000 people?
Except these people are going to be way more squared away.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, but yeah, that's going to be our next fucking role. I think this is a good way to get back into airsoft, because like we've done some open plays, but we haven't really done like an actual event in.
Well, we did the open play at Zulu for the expo, and that that was fun. But it was it was an open play, and I have River City they did reopen this weekend, and actually we weren't there because we were busy getting drunk in the woods, which was great. But apparently they had 168 people, and like,
Jesus,
man, I actually can't imagine 168 people on the field at River City. That's got to be crowded. Like, you got to be tripping over each other.
That's a lot of people for that field.
RCA is not a big field, and that is a substantial number. I mean, that'd be.
Yeah. It's well put together, and it's like a great field. But I've always thought it played really well with like 20 to 30 people. 168, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well,
how many people?
Big though. Like, I've looked at like maps. It seems big.
It's very linear. It's a super.
If you play the full field. Which I don't know if they did. If they played the full
they
field,
had to have. There's no possible way they fit
the
168 people on just the fucking backfield.
Yeah, because if you play the full field, it's decently big. It's pretty good.
Even then, like 60 people's a lot for the full field.
Well, it still ends up getting gridlocked like at some key points, which winds up being an issue. But I mean, it plays super well for any. I would say 50 people and less. It plays amazingly. It's just at a certain point, any field that gets hundreds of players, it just turns into
64-man Operation Metro.
Chat says they did not Whipple Wapple did not play the full field.
God damn.
Well, maybe the cover that they've built has done like a good job of trying to break up some of the lines of sight. Then I would hope so, because otherwise that's just got to be spawn like. Both teams just slugging each other from spawn.
Just head smashing against the other 85 people on the field. Yeah, that's nuts, man. I mean,
walls of BBs flying
good for them
across.
though. That's awesome that they got that much business. People really itch to play.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that people have been really itching. Like all them stimmy checks have been going towards a lot of BB guns. So people are willing to
And tickets for games. I mean, I couldn't believe that there were like 600 people at the.
Apparently, there were 150 plus people who paid and signed in, but definitely not that many people out there at any one time. And that's true. The short round.
Yeah,
the short
they
rounds at
rotated
River City.
people.
Dude,
Well,
even
a lot of people don't play every round at River City. They'll rotate in and out. So that actually probably helped a lot.
Take breaks and stuff, right? Like.
Yeah.
I have a feeling by the time I'm done with MSW, I'm gonna remember how much I hate the A2 pistol grip.
I love the A2 pistol grip. It's perfect.
Only if you have a specific hand does it.
A1
feel
pistol
good.
grip is the best.
A1's gangster. I don't mind the
A1
A2.
is.
A2 is the same angle. It just has the little divot in it. And I prefer the A1 over the A2. But yeah.
The A1 is a little less blocky. Like it's a little bit more contoured, and not having the finger rest I think helps a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm wearing flight gloves for keg just because it's like I went full on Like, if it doesn't get issued by the U.S. Army, I pretty much am not bringing it.
All right, man.
Stupid. My ruck is 40 pounds.
Same.
Jesus Christ.
My IOTV is 40 pounds.
Dude,
Actually,
and you're
I
not a
didn't
big
send you
guy.
that.
You're what, like 5'7", maybe like 140, 150 pounds?
I actually weighed myself. I'm 160.
Okay.
And I'm 5'7".
So you're coming into this at like 260 with everything on.
I'm not a big dude, but I am doing big dude stuff.
You weigh the same as
Yeah,
Eric.
you're-
With all of your kit on, you weigh more than Eric does.
Yeah, I'm like 2/3 of my kit.
Jesus Christ.
Or my kit is 2/3 of me.
Oh my God. That's a lot of weight,
No,
dude.
it's half. I'm sorry. It's half.
You're gonna throw your fucking back out, my guy.
Well, actually,
I hope
I
you've
was
been
actually very
working out
impressed with
during
myself
lockdown.
when I did my 4-mile hike to see like whether I could keep pace with everybody. The only thing that hurt at the end of that was my left hip and my right ankle. That was just my 40-pound pack.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not promising.
Eh.
I would say you should probably start introducing some resistance training, like
I-
try to build that strength up.
Yeah, I haven't done a very good job with working out lately. I
Need to
have to admit.
Need to get on TRT, my man. Need T in your body.
I need a lot of something.
Yeah.
My God.
No, I'm excited, man. Saratov's gonna be a good time. And then after that, we've got AMS coming up, and at some point, Kaylee's supposed to come out and visit, and we're gonna go to
Yeah,
some.
hopefully. I mean,
Tears
there's
of
been
the
some rumbling.
sun.
I still.
I'm
I-
rocking the Emmy. So, Garrett, did you see that I walked out of, because we stopped by Paratrooper Army Navy
Oh,
today,
nice.
and who, by the way, are like super great supporters of KEG. So if you're in the Buffalo area and you shop for military surplus and airsoft stuff, stop in at Paratrooper Army Navy. I don't think they're actually technically a sponsor, but like they gave Corey a case of MREs and we're like, oh, bring these to MSW for your guys. And he's like, oh, how much are you? And they're like, take them.
Damn.
That's awesome.
He's got
Yeah,
he's got a
I want that.
he's got that Dutch. One of the guys there has one of those Dutch. It's the Stoner 63 bayonet, and I'm really tempted to buy it off
There's
the
a
guy.
special bayonet for the Stoner 63?
Yes, there is.
You know what? I'm actually not surprised.
Dude, I walked out of there today with a full ME1 Ranger rack set.
Did you pay the full price for it?
I did.
Oh Jesus, Eric. That's so much.
Are you going to use that for AMS?
Yeah, I'm gonna use that for AMS. So here's the thing: you say that, but the rack it alone, people want over half of what he was selling it for with all the brand new fucking pouches.
Yeah,
I
those are all
couldn't
tactical
piece that
tailor pouches,
together.
too.
Yeah, you
SDS
can't-
actually, it's the tactical tailor style, like their NSN number, but it's made the contractor seems to be SDS.
Hmm.
But even those pouches in that condition, in that configuration, are like
Is that
20 or 30 bucks a
Ceradyne?
piece.
No, Ceradyne starts with a C. Never mind.
So
Yes.
I wound up walking out with it because here's the thing: we went in there and I'm like, I wonder if they still have that ME1 Ranger rack, and they did. And I saw, I'm like, I'm gonna be mad at myself if I buy this, but I'm gonna be more mad at myself if the next time I come in, it's gone.
Yeah.
Speaking of surplus that we've recently acquired, coming Tuesday, I have a PEC 2.
Damn.
Are you gonna run that at keg?
No. No.
So
I'm going to
much
flex
money's
with this
being
thing.
spent.
It was definitely not cheap, I will admit that.
Yeah, but you're doing night vision stuff, so you can swing it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's got the blue training plug in it, so I'm not worried about that.
It's like no one's gonna get the same deal Ben got on an actual PEC 2 that someone was just offloading for $5.
No, and
Well,
granted,
was
I
a
definitely.
kid who didn't know what he had at a
Yeah.
swap meet. Ben just walks up
But
to
see,
him.
that
He's
was
like,
back-
how much do you
I
want
think
for
that was
this?
back before
That's
airsofters were
insane.
really into, or back before people were really into cloning, like late '90s, early 2000s stuff.
Well, the thing is, this was only a couple years ago. So I mean, it wasn't that long. It's
Oh.
just that I think it was just someone who totally didn't know
Yeah.
what they had, and no one else at the swap meet realized it. And Ben walked up to this table and walked away with a real PEC 2 for like $20 fucking.
I mean, I have an Anvis housing that with 2 battery packs and the case with it, I got it for $1,000.
Yeah, the Anvis 6 battery pack, the Delta style. Doesn't it take like 9-volt or D cell batteries or something dumb?
So it actually takes both AA's and this special proprietary rechargeable battery.
Okay.
It's a 3-volt.
Okay.
But the pack allows it to use AA's, and I think the only reason they did that is because the 3 volts have a higher milliamp hour rating.
Yeah. Regardless, we're getting into night vision stuff when that's.
I'm
can
doing
see,
really stupid.
Yeah,
stuff.
you guys can nerd out about night vision in place of having a
God.
personality.
I can see.
Time.
I can see Kaylee's eyes starting to glaze over. So.
Yeah, mine too. There's actually a couple things in the
sleepy.
chat that I think make good segues. Because one guy, total fan, he asked. There's an AMS game in Illinois he was considering for his first milsim event. And I'm assuming, that means he's in the Midwest or near Illinois. Yeah, I like AMS. I had a really good experience at Theta Giant 5, which apparently was the worst one, and everyone keeps telling us it was the worst one and that it wasn't fun. I'm like, well, I don't know what game you attended, but I liked it.
I had a good time. That was the first time I ran Taggins ever.
Oh man.
I was excited when I got an entire squad of people to scatter.
I think anytime you run Taggins, you have a great time.
Airsoft is pay to win.
It's completely unfair for me.
It's the George W. Bush method of thinking, where it's just I'm gonna throw more money at the enemy until they die.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's just U.S. military doctrine in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The sad thing is I don't even carry that many Taggins compared to some people. Like, some people bring $1,000 worth of Taggins. I'll bring a paltry amount compared to that. But
paltry 50 Reapers or something.
50 is less than 100.
That's true.
Well, circling back though, we're also preparing for AMS Eastern Front Memorial Day weekend too.
Yep.
That'll be good.
DFE out in fucking Hobart, Indiana, or some shit as well, right?
Yeah, I'm seriously looking at going to DFE in Indiana. I really want to. Alphonse really wants us to run with him too, which I think is going to be a fun time.
As long as he tells us what color he wants to go, I should be able to do it, but I gotta now, because not only is airsoft stuff starting to fill back up, World War II stuff is starting to fill back up, and I'm signing up for a couple of those things, so I have to watch my dates, because the last thing I need is to have back-to-back weekends and then be totally burnt out.
Well, that's the thing I'm trying to avoid too. This is a really good talking point too. Is I'm trying to avoid getting to the point I was at with airsoft pre-break, because honestly, the things that went on in the world aside, I was actually at that point with airsoft where I was starting to resent the number of games I was going to. I was actually.
You were going twice a month, though.
More. I was.
Every
there were
weekend
months
we're going.
where every weekend for months on end, I was out doing something airsoft related, and I really started to resent it. Total fan. DFE is Desert Fox events. I won't call Desert Fox events a milsim because they don't market themselves that way. But if you're looking for a bigger game that's organized with some technology, they've got the app that I think is really cool.
The app is awesome.
If you have Verizon, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's just real life Battlefield. That's pretty much what it is. If you like playing Battlefield or you like those game modes, that's basically what DFE is, just on a mass TDM scale, with Battlefield style, Conquest and now Rush. So,
I mean, Rush is
it's good times.
Oh, it's good stuff.
So how do they do Rush?
They did.
Yeah, that was really cool. You were talking about that.
Yeah, so they did attack and defend.
Whatever you guys were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the podcast started.
Sorry.
But they did basically. Well, we only got to play the one round because of the fires, so they had to be there was a 4-hour break after that because
wow,
the fire department had to come and it costs a lot of money and they have to okay the AO to continue, and by the time all that happened, basically we were in night game territory. So basically what they did is they just had one team attacking, one team defending, and on the app, since TSS was attacking, I'll just use them as the example, they had a spawn point, and then we basically spawned just a little bit behind our two hold points that we had to defend, and every time they captured both points, those points were done, our spawn then moved back further on the map, and 2 new points popped up.
It's like I forget what it's called, but there's a game mode, Rising
Breakthrough.
Storm, and a couple other. Yeah, there's
Eric,
plenty of.
didn't we do that at Southern Strike?
No, we didn't have Rush at Southern Strike. They didn't do that.
Well, we had one where like we had a warm up where there were only 2 points.
Yeah, there were only 2 points, but they were like central between the 2 teams.
Yeah.
There was no, they didn't do that. But
Oh, that's right. And then after the rotation, they shifted where the 2 points were depending on who had the most tickets at the end of it.
Yep.
I do. Yep. Okay, so that is different.
Yeah, this was basically like they were trying to like push us down the field basically, and the only way that they could win is if they captured every point. So we ended up winning because we held the last 2 points and they ran out of tickets. So
I see. Okay.
yeah, we ended up winning that game, even though when the game started we were like bleeding points like at a drastic rate. It was like after maybe 20 minutes we lost the first 2 points, and then we're like, okay, let's run back to the next respawn, and we'll go to the next 2 points, and all of a sudden those were gone. So we're like, oh god, like we gotta go back again. Then we gotta protect
I guess
those
eventually you
points.
get your backs up against the wall, and it's just like all or
Yeah.
nothing.
And
Yeah.
I think at that point everyone was just like so concentrated on like what we were defending. We finally held up like a successful defense, and we were able to like just keep them at bay.
Well,
But
and you know what helped probably is because in Battlefield, when you take a point on Rush, it replenishes your tickets.
Yeah.
And apparently the game at 878 was the debut of Rush. It was part of the newest update to the app. So 878, I guess, had that too, which is neat. I'm glad that they're experimenting with new modes, because I think
explains
Yeah.
why I had to update the one
it was
time.
dope. Like
Like, I remember
probably
the
the
one day
most
I was
fun.
going through my update list and I saw that the Blue Fox tracker had an update. I was like, oh, they're keeping it updated. That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah,
they're not the only event company that's doing their own sort of app type thing. I know Grimnir is planning on doing their own type of app as well.
Yeah,
At least-
I do want to get out to a Grimnir event. I really like
Dude,
talking
there's
to
so
those
many
guys.
events we need to get out to.
That's the problem. Is there's so many fucking games, and like we said, we're trying to balance out, like not doing
Yeah.
too much, or we get burned out.
This is how it
well, and
starts.
at the same time too, like we want to go and we want to have fun. Like
Yeah.
obviously everyone take a drink. MSW. We know when we go to MSW, we have a consistent time. We know what we're getting into. We know what to expect.
It's gonna suck, but in the fun ways.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But like,
I mean, for you
when
guys,
go-
it's gonna be fun.
but when you go to an event promoter that you're like not sure about, or something that you may have experienced before, it's not, and it wasn't as great, and then you go and you're like, oh well, this isn't that as good as I remember. Then you kind of like don't feel as good.
Yeah.
But like we're always willing to try new events. Like we need to do Third Coast.
I still want to do Third Coast. I
we need to
really
do
mean to get down there.
The Balahack Revenant or whatever it is.
Yeah, I want to get to Balahack. I want to get to Virginia in general. I've got several reasons that I could go down there and have a good time. Just unfortunately, it's all timing and travel. And I still want to do GunGamers does the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah. I mean,
That's not an airsoft event, but I don't give a shit about airsoft for that one.
I still at some point want to go like over to Europe and do a fucking event over, and like I want to make my Mecca.
And
like,
Omega.
Well, Omega, yeah, I want to go to Omega as well. Well, I mean, everybody wants to go to Omega. Jeff Delory was actually asking in chat. He's asking
Think
like,
of it.
are there any dates potentially for it? Not that I know of. I was actually hanging out with Alex.
Alex was talking about at the booth. They're looking at doing another event at Skirmish in the summer, assuming things continue to go well with like reopening and travel restrictions and whatnot. They're looking to do either July or August at Skirmish.
Okay.
Tentative. Take this with the necessary grain of salt of it depends on how things go. It depends on logistics and availability and everything. But they are looking at summer at Skirmish.
Yeah, man. No, absolutely.
So
I mean, that's exciting as well. I mean, oh fuck, I gotta play.
Yeah, I'm
so
glad
much
lots
shit.
of stuff is coming back. I'm
Yeah.
excited to use Blankfire again. It's been so long since I did Blankfire.
I want to
I
get into
bought-
blank fire.
I spent so much money on mags.
Like that.
Like I got the brown here. Let me go grab one.
Oh, you
real
got the
quick.
actual the brown Stanags.
The brown Stanags.
Yeah, I'm really excited just like that we have new interesting things that we're doing, even with the context to like the same old games we've been going to. Because like obviously we've done a lot of Milsim West, but like now actually having started an impression group for it and rolling with that impression and
This is what is officially called the Enhanced Performance Mag.
Ah, yes, the EPM.
Yes, the EPM.
Yeah, we got to
Blue
shoot those.
follower,
we-
anti-tilt follower. It's got like a hazardous environment.
it's
like,
so
finish.
cool you got those high reliability magazines just for them to get gunked the fuck up by blanks and have your gun stop
can-
feeding anyway.
You can see this one's already gunked up because I tried doing some test fire.
Those mags are fine. I mean, I got issued them when I went to Iraq, and they perform well. They hold ammo excellently and feed well.
I'm
bringing
sure
up-
they work much better than the magazines that are older than your father that they give you in the army half the
Oh,
time.
dude, I've gotten issued ratty piece of shit Stanags that have been in service. They were held by guys that were in uniform when
that.
I was in liquid form.
Look at that.
I mean, that is an aesthetic. That is
It's
definitely
aesthetic,
an aesthetic.
man.
Yeah.
Stanags, tan Stanag. Actually, any Stanags are a freaking aesthetic, man.
Yeah. No,
I'm-
MSW is
I
going to
have
be a good time.
new appreciation for like standard USGI stuff.
Yeah.
Now.
That's
A
what
lot
I've
of it's
learned with
awesome.
Keg too. Granted, though, I'm still using my Hill People gear, Ruck.
Eh.
What,
I mean,
what
I'm
are you,
using a Molly too.
what's that, Kaylee?
I get tired of all this crap that everyone runs at every single event.
But that's the thing. Nobody actually runs US Grunt Kit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nobody
well,
has.
everyone is like an operator. Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
get
the,
that. Like,
that's the difference.
but
Everyone,
I don't know.
everyone's an operator. This is like we're the
The
like
least operator
Yes.
possible. It's like I joined after high school and now am deployed to some crazy fucking place in the middle of the world because I wanted to go to college type of kid.
Everyone
Not-
has a 36% APR Mustang or something of that nature. That's the keg aesthetic.
I'm just so sick of seeing multicam and M4s. Like, I just
now that
man.
I can understand. Like,
Yeah.
but that's why we're doing. That's why every time we go to an event, we always pick like a weird aesthetic that like we haven't done before. Like
Yeah.
I'm really
Vitamin Lead has a
excited to
good
do.
point, though. Buy Grunt Kit, spend ridiculous money on nods. Exactly.
Yes.
Because all the money you save buying military surplus for cheap means that you can buy the more expensive night vision.
Yeah.
It doesn't
What?
seem that cheap though. Like the IOTV is whatever is like hella expensive, isn't it?
No.
No, the
It depends
IOTV
on-
is super cheap. The SPCS is the expensive one.
It also depends on your size too. Like
Yeah.
if you have a very popular size, they can kind of be up in price. If you have a like, you would probably be an extra small IOTV.
All I know is like someone was trying to sell me one. It was like over $300, and I was like, nah, dog.
It better have had
That ain't
weights
happening.
with it, or the soft armor. If it had
Well,
the
yeah, it
soft
had,
armor
like,
with it,
Kevlar.
that kind of makes more sense.
Yeah,
I paid
yeah, it had soft
90
armor.
for mine.
Nah,
I paid
I'm
90 for
not
mine, and I
paying
had the
these
neck
prices.
protector.
80?
Yeah, man.
90.
Oh, 90. Yeah, I mean that's more reasonable. But when I see like a kit where there's a vest that's gonna be
Then
over
again,
$300, I'm like, nah,
I've got
bruh.
my
Well,
let me just get my
Systems
Smursh out.
119 that I haven't used yet, and it's like $350 sitting in the closet.
Yeah, I mean, Kaylee, like at the end of the day, like if you're gonna look at any other kit, like God forbid you go ahead and start like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what an super expensive like a CAG kit, and you're like, oh well, I need an AVS. It's like great, you have a $600 fucking plate carrier to go buy.
Yeah, even the TMCs are like $300.
Yeah, they're expensive, dude. Same thing with like the helmets. God forbid you go like just like, oh, I'm gonna go get an actual fast SF. It's like that's an $1,800 helmet.
See, this is why I like my
If it's
jumpsuit
ballistic,
kit.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
If you get the fast, it's like $300.
$60
The bump, you mean?
surplus pilot jumpsuit or whatever, or
Dude,
$20 pilot
Those are
jumpsuit.
so
and
comfy.
Yeah.
I love the pilot jumpsuits. They're
so
so
good.
comfy.
The pilot.
And everyone's always like, "Oh, that's the rental kit," because that's what you get like when you go to like a paintball field or something, and you like don't want to get your clothes dirty. They give you
That's
like whatever
stupid.
like
Well, yeah.
jumpsuit.
No, just get
But,
yourself a poopy
dude,
suit.
it's the
Get
best
yourself
thing.
like a dank robber or something like that. Just get yourself.
Listen,
just a,
Another
Yeah,
but-
rig I
the Blue
haven't had
Force
the chance
gear,
to use
the
yet.
chest rig.
Hold on. Vitamin lead in here, just spitting too many harsh facts. Listen, man, I get it. We didn't save a lot of money on buying surplus and front
Accurate.
kit, but you can save a lot of money buying surplus
I mean,
front kit.
So
outside of
hypotheticals here.
outside of the militia kit, like Keg is gonna be the cheapest fucking impression kit that you can do.
Unless you're me and you want to own every single gun in the keg impression kit.
Yeah, but Garrett, you're a dumbass, so that makes sense.
Yes, but I'm a dumbass with an M240L.
Yeah, dude, your 240 Lima's hot as fuck. I get it. I do like it.
Allow
It's
me
nice.
to fetch it.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my god. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's been the thing that's like really been keeping us going leading back into this is the fact that we've got this this new exciting project for the impression group, and a lot of us have had a lot of like gun projects and gear projects that we've been doing. And that's
I mean,
been
It is super hype.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's the cool part.
This is Eric's size.
Yeah.
And this is me and Joe's size.
Garrett, how much did you pay for that stock?
Maybe I don't want to know this though,
You don't.
or else I'm gonna like I have to leave the podcast.
Yeah,
I think
no.
it was another $1,000 gun.
Oh,
God, Jesus, dude.
I'm
Well,
gonna turn
yeah,
my
but
headphones off.
Let's build an airsoft M240 with as many real 240 Lima parts as possible. You fucking savage.
I feel judged.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
This
The
flash
great
time
thing-
was $100.
Jesus, dude. The great thing about the impression kit is the
Stop.
fact that you can have 20 of your friends all get together and run the same kit and just do dumb
That's
shit
what I
at
like.
MSW.
Like,
yeah.
When you showed me the roster for that's Saratov's roster, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Saratov's roster.
And I saw all the people running keg, I was like, dude, like that's like my dream. Like to
Yeah.
have all the homies like all agree on a kit. Like we were just trying to get these jumpsuit MP5 kits going with like 4 people. And Mark and I couldn't even get it past just us. Like everyone else was like, oh well, I have to like buy new stuff and like, I was
Oh,
like, bro,
I
it's
buy
like
new stuff all
less
the time.
than $300
There's
of
not
stuff.
a single month I'm not buying new stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
dude.
mean it's fun and you get to like all kind of
Because I
match and
know
look
what-
like a team.
I know what happens though is when I get rid of something, then I end up having to buy it again. So I'm just perpetually
At a more
holding on
expensive
to stuff
price.
now.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
All right, I gotta set this down because this is 13 pounds, and the poor sucker that.
Yeah, it's heavy, and I'm. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm the only one with a proper extended charging handle so far.
Yes, Garrett, it's hot. We get
Of
it.
course, yes.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
The charging
Garrett.
handle also costs like $300.
No, I made that.
Oh.
Garrett, are you going to get yourself that Mark 48 from Lambda Defense that weighs like 22 pounds?
No.
Okay.
I could rock that.
You should buy it.
Why?
It's
Why would
$800.
I get a 48 when I already have an M240?
I don't know,
It's
dude,
the
because
it's effectively the same gun.
Garrett, don't you own like 30 guns?
Actually, let me look at my list.
Do you have like an Excel
Break down.
spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Of course, Garrett has an Excel spreadsheet of all the shit he owns. What a fucking nerd.
Oh, does Caleb know
wait.
about the short killing? Oh, Jesus.
1, 2, 3, 5,
I don't know what that is.
7,
It's probably
do you
bad.
remember that?
Oh,
Do you remember
here's
that
a-
UDT short order that we did?
13,
Oh
14.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, the short shorts. I got okay. The clothing, yes.
Yes.
Short calendar. Yes, I remember. You guys are gonna do like some sexy photo shoot, right?
If
Mm.
you count all my, actually no, yeah, if you count all my grenade launchers, it's 22.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I like Korean girls just asked a question. Is GunGamers doing a follow-up/update on the All About Projects podcast? Maybe. God, that's an old one. That was like,
The all about.
dude, that was like 2017,
18.
maybe, or 2018.
I was on that podcast, yeah.
Where did
Were
we
you?
talk about that podcast?
Dude, I don't even. That's the thing. I don't even remember what we talked about. I would have to rewatch that podcast. to
Was
know
it
if we
me
even
just
could-
like telling people about all the things that I have in progress?
All the
all
shit
of
that,
us?
yeah.
All of us were talking about
All
different
the
shit
shit
that we're working on.
Oh,
funny,
yeah.
funny enough, I have done none of the things that I was talking about doing in that fucking podcast.
I don't even remember what I talked about, so I have
Disappointing.
no idea.
You know, it's more important stuff comes up like CAG and buying night vision and stuff. So you know, you kind of get lost in the sauce.
Keep knocking into my nitrogen bottle.
And then someone asked a question that I actually think is kind of fascinating given the context of what we were just talking about
Jesus,
in its own
Garrett,
way.
that's
Wait,
hot.
is that like a Gundam gun?
It is.
Jesus Christ!
It's an AAP. The assassin pistol or whatever the APS makes, and it's got a conversion kit from Shoguns on it that makes it look like an MG100
I
from
saw that.
Milsim Gun.
Yeah, I
MS.
saw that on their Instagram, and I was like, are they gonna sell this? Like, how do I get this?
It's a $250 conversion kit
That's not bad
For a-
for that.
for a $100 pistol. Well, it includes the Spitfire tracer muzzle flash thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw them like busting that out in like some video, and I was like, that is so fucking hard.
It is.
I need that for my wall.
It is absolutely. And the best part about the pistol is it's full auto.
Yeah.
It'll do semi or full auto, and it's got this little dust cover thing that looks like it's got a live round in it that cycles back and forth.
That's
Like
cool.
it is.
Run that at Omega.
I'm actually thinking strongly to do it with the character that I have coming up.
Well, don't spoil it.
Oh, is Burt
I'm not gonna
Gummer
say-
making a 5th appearance?
Burt Gummer only made one appearance.
No, he's made multiple
No, it's not.
appearances, dude.
It's not gonna be
No, he
Burt
didn't.
Gummer.
Burt Gummer only showed up at Desolation 2.
Yeah, and he's
No,
at
he was
Desolation
in
3 as
1
well.
and 2. Or no, he was 2 and 3. Sorry.
Really? Did Burt Gummer show up at 3?
Yeah, he was,
Yeah,
a
he was a
character.
bounty. He was a bounty character.
Oh, okay. So a cameo as much as anything.
Well, it was the final death null for him.
Yeah.
I
The
needed a,
canonical death.
it was a natural canonical death. Which
Uh,
reminds me, I have to watch the next Tremors movie.
Is there another one
There's-
coming out?
Like the Tremors, the worm thing. Like
Yes.
they have like 7
well,
sequels.
Actually, there are 7 movies.
Yeah. I've seen a
think
good
it's-
portion of them.
I think it's Tremors, Screecher Island, or
Alright, well,
Shrieker
before
Island, or
we-
something like that. It's on Netflix.
Before we
I have to
derail
watch
the podcast to talk about Tremors, someone had a question that I gotta think is
Oh God.
funny. Not
That's
funny.
Bob.
It's relevant, I think, to almost what we were talking about. Is hey, give opinions on why some airsoft players go to an extreme with tryharding in toy soldier game. And honestly, like I find that question fascinating in the context of now we were just talking about the extremes we go to, like with all the money we spend and like all the organization and like the kits we build and whatnot. But like I'm sure a
I
lot
wouldn't
of
really
people
call
would
it
view that as
tryhard.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I decide, you know what, I can't do airsoft anymore. I really don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I haven't
but-
really planned that far ahead.
Oh, dude, my airsoft retirement
Living
plan
it
is
now.
to just delete GunGamers and just make appearances at Milsim, West, and Omega when I can be bothered.
Wow, legend.
Yeah. That's going to
Yeah.
take place in about 3 weeks, so watch the videos while you can.
This reminds me too, is like I was supposed to do a video back in November. It still needs to be finished editing.
Garrett, where's the BB video? The BB test video?
I hate you.
Yeah.
I haven't touched ever since like I think it was the last podcast that I talked about the BB test. That was the last time I did anything related to the BB test.
Nice.
You've been working on that BB test since like 2019.
Yeah.
It was an idea in 2019, and then when 2020 shut a lot of stuff down, I was like, hey, this is the greatest opportunity to do it. And then I got bored super quick.
You started talking about doing that BB test before I deployed to Afghanistan. That was like June of 2019.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well,
Good
I
God.
still have this many BBs.
Oh, that's a lot. Jesus.
It's like 60.
Oh, okay. That's
Or
not
no.
bad.
I'm sorry, it's 6 different brands and weights. So it's another like 7 hours worth of work, and plus I have to redo all the graphs, and then
True.
I have to compile all the information and then figure out how I'm going to present it in a video that isn't going to bore people to death. I'm going to turn into Bloke on the
You
Range.
don't
We talked-
worry about boring people to death. You do math on a fucking whiteboard.
Eric, when's the 24-hour live stream highlight video going to come out?
Oh God.
Aren't we doing another?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. At some point, I'm planning on doing a another 24-hour live stream. This time, we're benefiting National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
That's a good cause.
Yeah, it is good stuff. It's a cause close to my heart. I've worked with them in the past for marketing stuff, but yeah, it's good stuff. When we're gonna be doing that, I have no idea. I was gonna reach out to Spiritus Systems through a friend of mine to see if I couldn't get a custom plate carrier made through them, but we will see whether or not that takes place.
I just realized I'm bringing like 6 guns to MSW.
Dude, what the fuck?
I'm only carrying 2 of them.
So how many projects did you how many projects did you do in the last year, Garrett, with guns? Because I've lost track.
4.
Jesus.
What about you, Ian and Kaylee? Let's all go. Like what projects did you guys work on in anticipation of the great return?
Well, I've had one that I've been like waiting because I wanted to do that stoner. I ordered that stoner like 8 months ago, and it finally got to Kaylee's place like, I don't know, a month and some change ago. So I've been waiting to do that.
Probably like a month.
Oh, I forgot about my AK project.
So you got 5, Garrett.
Well, no, that's not done. These are ones that are done. I've done 4 because I did this 80% AR. I did the M240L. I did this. I finished. Oh no, I got my M4, my regular M4 back. I got that back. There's another one, I swear.
I mean, I think I'm on like 4.
While your brain is buffering, let's move on.
I have a blank fire Makarov that I was going to debut at MSW that I couldn't. That game I couldn't go to. So I have a blank fire Makarov over there somewhere.
You should do a desktop.
No. Scare the absolute shit out of the dog. I love him too much for that.
Yeah, no, I've done. I don't know. I've done 3 or 4.
I've done more
one
night
of,
vision
one of those pending. Yeah, I did my Block 2. I did a Block 2 build.
Right. Yeah, you did that.
I did my Block 1.5, which was just kind of thrown together for Saratov. I want to get that stoner done, which I guess is a work in progress. Yeah, other than that,
in a nitrogen purge system for NVGs.
Yeah, well, Garrett, you're in the process of doing night vision shit, so that's pretty cool.
I am, yes. If people want to do stuff, hit me up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a reasonable guy to talk to.
Hit up Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen. I just need to figure out what I want to do and.
Yeah, there's lots of options.
That's it.
And, like a lot of stuff is, like, tubes are obviously the tough part still, because like orders for other people are being pushed back, and I am a very, very small person. So like I only have so much access to different things, but like I try to help out people whenever I can. I've done 10 of the BNVD 1431s, actually 11 if you include Ian.
Yeah.
And 12 if you count mine, but they're not done yet.
Are you still waiting on two?
Well, I put my tubes in 2 PVS 14s. That way I could loan them out to people, so we could have like a bunch of people with NVGs at Saratov. Because I'm a bro like that.
What a fucking Chad.
What a big.
Did you ever just casually build extra night vision to loan it out to people? What a fucking Chad.
There's a case over there that has 5 PVS 14s.
That's so much.
They're all 2 of them are coming back with me. No, sorry, 3 of them are coming back with me.
One of them's Corey's, one of them's Jim's.
One of them is Corey's, but Corey needs to finish.
All right. Well,
yeah. Regardless,
we can talk about these logistics later. But Kaylee, what about you? Like, what projects did you work on?
Whew, it was almost in it's like hitting the Z's right there. But
listen, I like night vision and own night vision. Even my eyes glaze over when these two start going back and forth about it. And I'm like, man, it's real cool.
But yet,
I love
who
night vision.
Is willing to help you out
games.
with yours?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really complain that much because as a person that does appreciate night vision and using night vision, like I want some. So I mean, if I had it, then I sold it. Now I want night vision again. So I can't really.
I was talking about Eric.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd help Kaylee out too. But anyway, projects, go.
Okay, so I've only worked on one project because the whole point was to do the end all kit, and that was the MP5. Like, that's the end all kit. Then that was gonna be no more building of any projects, no more things, because like just have one gun that works, that's light, that you know I invest all my time and effort into, and have one kit that works, that's doesn't make me want to die every time I step onto the field, which is the jumpsuit kit with the
I'm
blue
jealous
forest gear
because I don't
rig.
think I could ever do a kit like that.
Oh, it's so good. I think like it was a pretty
you still want
major
an MP5.
factor. Yeah, MP5 is like, I gotta say it's hands down. It's my favorite airsoft gun of all time. Like,
What are
it
you
was
using to carry mags?
the blue force gear
That's
rig.
it.
Yeah,
Rack minus.
I have the rack minus with the whatever they call those, the 10 speed whisper.
Oh,
It
the
has like
helium
30,
whisper pouches.
yeah, 30 freaking names attached to it or whatever. Yeah, those are like hands down, like they're good. I mean, yeah, you can't like re-index. So if you're like one of those people that's like wants to re-index their mags all the time, like can't do it with that because they lay flat and they're elastic. But I
would
carry
probably
a
get
dump pouch, so
There's a dank robber that's specific for SMGs. I would probably get that because it's the same
Dank
thing.
Robber, the Dank Robber is a cool kit,
It's
a cool
fucking
rig,
sweet.
but that's
Yeah.
that's pretty new. Like that probably, I mean, I don't think that existed in that guy's up until a few months ago.
No, I think
It's about 6
when
months ago.
I think I found it after I had bought my dank robber 5.56 or whatever they call it.
It came out about
And
6
I was like,
months
"Ooh,
ago.
that's cool. I better get one of those too." I
Yeah.
want to get a Coyote one that way I can use it with my M1 carbine.
Jesus Christ, Garrett. But yeah, Kaylee, so
Yeah,
you
already got
be
more
all end
projects.
all.
yeah. So
I need
you know,
mags for the carbine.
I built that whole kit and I was very happy with it, and like I think that's the big reason why I had so much fun at DFE this year is just because the kit just works and like that's it. But of course you get bored and you want to like do something new, so then I bought one of those LCT PP19s,
Nice.
and it's been
They
just a
are
nightmare.
tanks.
It's a nightmare from day one. Like
Oh, really?
yeah, it's like everything I did in my MP5, I was like, I could replicate this. I can just put it into another gun and make that gun sick. So I like bought a Titan and opened up the gearbox and dropped the Titan V3 in there, and like I was like, okay, like this is gonna be dope. Like it's gonna just wreck noobs like all the time. Did the B hop in there, which is like Mark's proprietary R hop type thing, and
I was just about to ask the B hop.
yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
just
we're
like,
going backwards in letters instead of
Yeah.
forwards like we had been.
well, it's like Brain Exploder. The B hop is like
Yeah.
kind of like his.
We should get
Thing
one
and-
for review.
Yeah,
I mean,
I,
I think-
I could ask him, but I don't know. It's like his secret
Secret
thing that
formula.
Well, it's probably similar to like because he had a guide a while ago where he was doing RHOP style patches with this compound that he found. It's probably the same type of thing. It's just like a different.
Yeah, that
compound
was
he uses.
Sugru. He does something different. Regardless.
Yeah,
I thought
he
Mark
has
was
this-
doing it. I thought Mark was doing it commercially, but I guess not.
No. He just does
No,
it
never-
like in his guns, and then he did it. He's done it in like a few of my guns. So
Yeah, if he's not
Um,
selling it, then, I
yeah,
mean,
it's just
you
like-
can't exactly buy it for review.
he has
I
a
need to meet
special
that guy.
compound, and he's
You never met Brain Exploder?
No.
legit.
He's a great fucking dude.
I know. That's why I want to meet him.
Yeah,
I watch his videos. I'm like, dude, you and I would get along great.
he is a wealth of knowledge. Like it's crazy. Like, he loves just talking about airsoft and nods, and yeah, you guys would definitely
Oh my
get
God.
along. Like he's very
I
technical.
think we'd have to
and
they'd have to segregate us so that way we could just be in our own communication bubble. We would just
Yeah,
talk
put you guys
endlessly.
in a cage so you don't bore everyone else to death. That's not true. I actually I selfishly hog Garrett at every gathering that we go to. It's unfortunate for him to not be able to talk to other people, but dude, every time I actually get to see Garrett, I just need my Garrett time, you know?
Dude, this is one of the reasons why I'm glad. Like, I was afraid post college that I would kind of start falling out of airsoft. Granted, I would have gotten into real steel, but like, I'm glad I kind of met you guys and then were able to keep going with the whole airsoft thing, because now I don't have money for cocaine.
Oh, okay, that's
And
that's
there's the
one way to
second
go. Yeah.
monetization.
All right. Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
For legal
Not
reasons,
that,
that's a
not
joke.
that we recommend anyone do that ever.
No, but seriously, like the friend group that I have with gun gamers, like this is gonna sound sappy, and I'm not drunk Eric, because normally
working
drunk
on
Eric
it.
is the one that gets sappy. But like you guys make the experience a ton of fun. Like we can just, yeah, exactly, Ian. Love you very much.
Rob, you.
But I'm also, but at the same time, like I also wanted to branch out a little bit too, meet some new people, get to like work with other people. So that's why, like, when I requested to do squad lead position with at MSW, I told Corey, I said, don't put me with too many people that I know. Like, give me some new people that I can try to work with.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the cool thing about KEG is that there's like so many people that we haven't really met in person before, but there's also a shitload of people that obviously we're close with and we know. So I'm excited for that.
And like,
Bringing it full circle.
Like,
We're bringing it full circle, guys.
You just treat people like people, and all of a sudden they're like, oh hey, like I want to be a good person too. Like it rubs off.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's legit.
Yeah, and that's what I think is cool is like
Do
one of my
KEG.
favorite
Be a man.
One of my oh my god, that Grom cameo is so fucking funny.
One of the funniest fucking things I've seen. Do KEG. Wear heavy shit. Hate yourself. Be a man.
Sounds so much fun.
Yeah.
But one of the things I think is really cool, and this was an experience I had last weekend at Zulu when I went to the Metro Airsoft Expo and their open play, yada yada yada. But I got to meet like a bunch of people there who were like longtime Gun Gamers viewers, and that's always cool. It can go 50-50 sometimes. Like sometimes there'll be people who are like kind of awkward, and I'm like, oh shit, all right, I gotta like try to not be awkward. But for the most part, I mean, everyone that I met at Zulu last weekend was super chill. Like it was just easy to fucking vibe and have a good conversation and talk to those guys, and that was awesome. But my favorite, not to offend anyone who was there, who's listening, who wasn't this person, but they'll understand, I hope. My favorite occasion of like just meeting someone randomly who recognized me from the channel was someone who actually talked to me because they didn't recognize me at first, but they saw my shirt. I was wearing an Acacia Strain shirt.
Nice.
And someone stops me like, dude, love your shirt. I'm like, thanks, man. They're my favorite band. And he stops and he like kind of looks, and I was wearing my mask, so he didn't like see my face at first. But then he hears my voice, like, wait a minute, are you Gun Gamers? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, dude, love your videos, yada yada. But that was like 5 seconds, and then we spent the next like 20 minutes talking about metal.
Yeah, man. It's good stuff. I met a lot of cool people. Had a good time at that event. It was good. So I'm excited.
You plan to come out this way, Kaylee?
I mean, it's like
we have to go out her way too. Like, come on.
apparently, yeah. Apparently there was like, apparently there was like some rumor, like, cause it was my cousin's birthday not that long ago, maybe like like 3 weeks ago or something, and my dad just like was on the phone. We were all on the phone, like speakerphone, and he just threw this idea like out there. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're going to New York. Like we're gonna try to do it this summer." And I was like, "We are? Like, I mean, that's hype. Like if that's what's gonna happen, because like it's been, I don't know, maybe 2 years since I came out to New York, and last time I came out, I tried to like meet up with Amy to come out to like River City or something to play, but then I realized it was like 6 hours away, and I was like,
Not close to New York
holy
City.
shit, like, yeah, I don't know if this
No.
is like something I could like do unless I plan, ahead of time and
That's
try
like
like
a weekend.
figure something
That's
out.
a 3-day trip.
Yeah, so
Get out there, spend the night, do stuff, spend the other night, and then drive back.
Yeah.
I think like if what I'm assuming is if my family like is trying to do a trip this summer, like it's probably going to be like a longer trip, maybe like a week or 2 weeks. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure like in that time I'd be able to carve out, a couple of days where I could come out and like play airsoft and just chill and whatever. I don't think they would really
Well,
care.
we have to bring you to a Hunters Creek camp out because like
Oh,
that
yeah.
that
Those-
is the absolute peak of Gun Gamers degeneracy hours. That's
We
where
do-
like the heavy
Get
drinking and the good times
Get
happen.
shithoused around a bonfire that's comically huge.
Hell yeah.
Garrett brings up all his milsurps to shoot.
Yeah, man. I want to do some night. It's such a shame that New York has bans on fucking suppressors. Otherwise, we could do night vision shooting up there.
You can still technically do it, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, like neighbors, and you know you don't want.
Yeah, neighbors get kind of irritated.
5.56 is loud, you know.
5.56 is loud with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think suppressors really do that much.
They
when it
do
comes
enough.
to like large caliber.
They do. They actually do better in 308, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But
Or 300
5.56.
blackout.
300 blackout is just whisper quiet.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I do want to do 458 suppressed at some point.
458 is just so dumb. I love it.
Kaplunk. Kaplunk.
We need to start an SOT.
Oh, what?
An SOT?
Speaking English for us lay people.
Firearms manufacturing company where you can legally create machine guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a class 3 manufacturer.
Yeah. Oh, super chat. Hey, off topic. I need a little help. Can I take a MOSFET from SIG and solder it to a GMG combat machine? I love you guys. Well, what SIG? I'm guessing you're talking about an MCX, in which case...
Yeah, if you're talking about the wiring harness from an MCX, that is probably... I mean, the MCX is a standard V2 gearbox,
You
isn't
could
it?
literally just take the entire V2 and throw it into that. I don't know why you would, because MCX is a little bit nicer than a combat machine. But, that being said, yes, you absolutely can take it and transfer it over. Because it's an external
but
MOSFET.
if... Oh, does the Avalon not have... The Avalon gearbox doesn't have a cutout for the MOSFET? That's the thing. If the Avalon has the cutout on the gearbox for where the MOSFET goes, if it has that cutout, then you won't be. And I don't remember because I haven't actually taken apart an Avalon, or at least I don't remember what the internals look like off the top of my head. But yeah, if it has a cutout piece in the gearbox, then you would either need to modify the gearbox to make it fit, or find a way to, put that somewhere else in the wiring harness.
Could you just swap the gearboxes?
No, because, well, keep in mind, the MCX is front wired.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could just move the wire.
You could just front
rear
wire.
wire
So,
to front wire.
William
Combat
Rohr
machine.
asks, are GBBRs viable for MSW?
Yes.
You don't go to MSW to shit on noobs. Well, I mean, Kaylee does, but...
I mean, I do. So that's
Yeah.
why, for me, I said that I wouldn't run it because I would
would
just have a
say-
terrible time.
I would say if any event has GBBRs as being potentially viable, though, other than Omega, because Omega obviously has the benefit of like crazy high fucking restrictions for ammo. So
Yeah,
you
might
know,
as well run GBB.
Yeah, you might as well run a GBR. But MSW also has some ammo restrictions, and you're using issued ammo.
Yeah.
So I would say that is like where you're going to get into where GBBRs, I think, start to be viable.
Well, and
They're still worse than
because-
AEGs, in
well,
my
because
opinion.
I still
95%
think they're reliable.
Well,
That's
95%...
the
my issue
problem.
with it.
Go ahead, Garrett.
I've run at 2 out of the 3. Yeah, 2 out of the 3. Or no, I'm sorry. 2 out of the 4 MSWs that I've been to so far, I've had a GBBR.
Yeah.
And that was before. And the only reason I stopped doing it is because I went blank fire.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would say the next evolution from GBBRs, because 95% of GBBRs are fucking useless when it comes to actually like being airsoft guns. Just run blank fire. Be a man. Run blank fire.
Yes, just
Be a
spend
man.
a
Save
bunch of
your
money to
wallet.
get a
Or
blank
whatever
fire gun.
else. Like
Yeah.
be whatever you want to
Be
but run blank fire.
but
You know
run
what's
blank
really
fire.
sad? Blanks are cheaper than live ammo right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, yeah, I mean, right now we're on the cusp of a possible civil war, so
Let's
Ammo's at a
not
premium.
go down that fucking rabbit hole, please. My God.
I
Don't
if I
get that
my
ammo,
eyes
We're
just
brother.
gonna
started
get
to
a
fall
whole
out of
lot
my
of
head.
fucking interesting comments here, and I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Regardless, no, you should run blank fire or run GB. Run what you want. Be you.
Yeah.
Let your
MSW allows you to pretty much run almost anything.
Yeah.
Well,
You know.
more guns are viable at MSW than at typical events.
yeah. Well, and
But I think
nobody
a lot of that
wins
is
at
because
MSW,
there's
so like it
lots
doesn't
of-
really
there's
matter
lots
whether
more
you kill
pyro
anybody
to
or
kind of
not.
help level the playing field.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter if you kill anybody or not at MSW, so like I mean nobody wins.
maybe
so.
in your world.
Dude, I've got I've gotten 2 blank fire kills that I know of
Yeah.
at MSW.
Oh, you got
and
people
they're
to
the
call
great-
blank fire kills?
Yes.
Okay.
I legitimately saw the person fall down when I shot in their direction. I was like,
we're
yes,
gonna remove that comment.
What?
Don't matter.
Oh. Alrighty.
Yep. Yeah, but you should run whatever you want, man. I do want to run blank fire at some point. If I take blank fire at all when I'm doing cadre at Saratov, I'm just gonna fall over. I'm gonna give the dude just like, you spent that money, you get this kill. Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited for fucking MSW. Eric, I know you got a bunch of questions that people have. We were gonna answer during the Q&A, but you got too drunk to answer them. So.
Yeah, so fun fact, we were going to film a Q&A when we went camping out at Hunter's Creek.
Color me shocked that it clearly did not happen.
Well, hold on. We did manage to make 2 videos. Lane managed to film his GHK AK video. Shout out to our friend the BB Warrior. He's a fucking good dude, and I like his channel, and he's a really good friend. But he managed to make his GHK AK video, and we managed to film a super rambly drunk video about Keg Kit. But after that,
I'm not surprised happened.
After that, we had to finish the 3 gallons of margarita that we put in the back tap.
Oh, yeah.
Christ. Why do you guys do this to yourselves?
Well, I mean, Kaylee, you're allergic.
That's very ambitious.
Kaylee, you're allergic to alcohol,
Not
so you don't
person.
understand the level of dumbassery
I'm gonna
that
put
we...
my guns away.
Yeah.
No, apparently, I mean, I've definitely been trashed in my day, but
Yeah, we bought
not 3 gallons of margarita. Trashed.
Yeah, so we did. We made. Well, and the thing is, I made the margaritas, and it's one of those things where when I make a margarita, I do it the traditional way, where it's 2 parts tequila, 1 part lime juice, 1 part Cointreau or triple sec.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about liquor, that makes it a very proofy cocktail. And I made that with that recipe on the 3-gallon scale.
And how'd it go?
Well, Lutz was on the ground. Lane also threw up. We also
Jesus.
we made garbage plates on the grill, and that was great.
Nice.
But most of those ended up on the ground, either from spillage or regurgitation.
Nice, man.
So,
Man.
Seems like a successful evening.
Yeah.
yeah, that was great. Espo says 3 gallons. Those are rookie numbers. Espo, you have yet to make it to a single quality hee-haw, so I don't want to hear you acting like you could big dick any of these drinking numbers. You got to step your game up. Make it to an Omega, Espo, you bastard. Sorry,
Yeah.
I had to give some banter to a friend of ours in the chat. Love you, Espo.
Kayla,
we'll
you
hit
do-
you up next time
you-
we're going to Warzone.
You do have to get out to a hee-haw, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be sweet if a hee-haw lined up with the time I'm out there, but
We can
we'll
make
see.
that happen.
We can.
But
all I have to do is like bring my kit, and then someone just gives me a gun, and we good.
All right,
We got
so
plenty of guns.
Eric, what do you got in terms of questions?
So I did get a bunch of questions, and we'll figure we answer them. One of them is my favorite. Biggest lightweight of gun gamers, and it's Garrett, because Garrett literally cannot drink.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, I unfortunately have stomach problems that have lingered since Caspian Breakout.
Ooh.
And they have unfortunately relegated me to not be able to consume alcohol anymore.
So you would be by default the biggest
Damn.
lightweight on gun gamers.
I would be the biggest lightweight, which I'm pretty sure I'm also like one of the lightest dudes.
Yeah.
Lane is lighter than you now. Lane weighed in 150 pounds.
He's
Wow.
like 6'2".
Yeah, he's almost
but
my
he's
height.
He's
like
skinny
he's
as
this
hell.
big around.
Yeah,
He's a beanpole.
all bones.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, holy shit. Eric, what else you got?
Let's see. When do you want to talk about the birds and the bees? Tristan Art and Airsoft asks.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ.
I feel like that could be its own. I feel like that could be its own podcast someday. You know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna host it.
Or maybe a tactical wizard video.
That sounds not good.
Oh,
But sure, why not? Let's go for it.
Let's see. Chuckles from Extreme Airsoft asks, "What's your favorite part of airsoft?"
Food.
Yeah, eating afterwards.
That
Just-
moment when you
just the
finally
eating,
get
man.
the one kill that you've been wanting. Like, that moment when you realize that no matter how the rest of the game goes, you've had
I've
your
already
fun.
won. I've already won.
I've already
You can't
won
take
in my
this away
head.
from me.
Yeah, that's it. For me, it's typically the first time I get like a multi-kill with a grenade. At that point, I'm like, all right, cool, I can go home.
Yeah,
Or
I had one of those at the last weekend.
You haven't had as many as me.
No, the great thing about it was that the people I did kill thought that. So there were some admins that had to get involved because like the rules very clearly stated the pyro that I was using was allowed, but for some reason the people that I dumped, it was like 6 or 7
They
people I
didn't
got with
think
that
it
fucking
was?
frag. Well, they're like, "Is that an ignited smoke?" And I'm like, "That exploded. It's not a smoke. It very clearly exploded." And I mean, they all called hit, and like, I'm just sitting there like I'm just here to play BB Wars and then probably get shithoused after this. So let's speed this up, guys. But
I mean,
yeah,
it's awesome too when you like complete an objective and you're like with your buddies and you've been fighting hard to get that one objective, and then when you finally get it, it's like, oh yes, and you're like hugging each other. It's like when one of those sports ball players gets a throwdown or whatever it's called.
I see you were an athlete in high school.
A throwdown.
Throwdown, yes. Kaylee, what's
I
your
would say my
what-
favorite part of airsoft is all the time with the homies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would see. That's my whole like theory about airsoft is like the airsofting part is like 10%. Like if the airsoft part sucks, who cares? Like the main purpose or excuse to do airsofting is like chilling with the homies and like going and like eating food after and just continuing the hangs like
Yeah.
after the airsofting is done. Like I mean I think like Mark and I and the rest of our like friends like Bear and Cole and whatever, like all the people in my airsoft circle, like we all agree like it's really we all just play airsoft. It's all an excuse to just hang out and meme and be idiots. So
Oh
Well,
my
yeah.
god, yeah.
going
That's the
Taco
best
Bell
part.
afterwards is just the best. It's the best. It's the best. way
Taco
to
Bell
do it.
afterward
Taco
is
Bell.
fire.
Yeah.
The Taco Bell and the bar afterwards, where the only thing you're talking about is all the stupid stuff that happened to you,
Oh yeah.
and all the cool stuff that you saw other people do. Like
Yeah.
that's the cool thing.
So
That's the
this
best
actually
part about
ties
it.
in nicely to a question we got from Alex Stortz, co-owner of Omega. He asks, best item on Taco Bell's menu.
Ooh,
Ooh.
cheesy gordita crunch, hands down. Like
Oh no, I'm a chicken
it's-
quesadilla
it's-
guy. I'm so basic, I don't care, but I get 2 chicken quesadillas and just that's dinner.
Baja
was
Blast
cheesy-
freeze.
Ooh, I was a cheesy potato grillers guy, but they got rid of them, and
Yeah,
I
they
will
took that
never
one
forget
away.
what they took from me.
I was a huge quesarito guy, and they got rid of quesaritos, so I was super sad.
Oh,
But I
the
discovered.
quesadillas are gross.
All right, well, it's okay that you're dumb. I'm a huge fan of quesaritos. But the soft taco supreme, like 7 or 8 of those after you've spent a night getting shit house is just
See, now you're
Mwah.
making sense.
Yeah.
Now you're on the right path.
yeah,
Uh,
good stuff.
And then
The new one's
Kieran
good,
Chase
too.
asks, in the moment when you nuked the Discord, did you hear the Doom OST start playing? I actually heard the recorder version of My Heart Will Go On.
No, Eric, that was before it happened, not after.
Yeah.
Before it happened, you heard a terrible recorder noise, and you're just like, "Oh God, we're gonna delete this."
No. That was just, that was just what was going.
I could hear Tristan himself singing "I'm Holding Out for a Hero" by Bonnie Tyler, and then Eric snapped his fingers, and they were all gone.
Oh, one of the greatest days.
Yeah.
Richard Baldwin, aka Camera Ninja, asked, "What about an event makes you want to go to it?"
The
I mean, at
ability
this point-
to use tag-ins.
Yeah, that's pyro rules definitely go into it.
Pyro
And I guess
rules are definitely a big deal for me.
I guess the actual gameplay rules, like the way that like the way the weapon classes are set up is but like if it offers something
Yeah.
different,
Their medic
know,
system.
yeah, medic system also good. But if it offers something different, like if it's not like I'm not gonna throw any events out there, but if it's just some random like, oh, you know, we're the green team is fighting the tan team because fuck those guys. It's like, you know, if it's that, then it's like, all right, you know, do I have to pay to go to this event? Oh, it's $180. Like, nah, I'm good. But if it's like, okay, MSW, where I can go with my group of 20 homies and have a great time, or if it's like Desolation, where at the first one I almost froze to death, that's awesome. Like, I would
Yeah.
That
much.
part was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
It was.
Well, looking
it
back
was.
at
It
it,
made fucking great.
yeah, that's
It made it desolate, that's for
Please
sure.
spoon me.
well, that's the thing. That I mean, I was having this conversation at the last fucking when we were at the Metro, like the expo. It's just like, yeah, man, I was sitting in my tent. And like I made the joke before we went to bed. I'm like, Eric, you know, if you're feeling cold, feel free to crawl into my tent. And like 3 hours
Yeah,
later,
man.
as I was shivering myself, trying to shiver
Butts to
too.
butts, right?
Yeah, I was like, Eric, get in this fucking tent. I am cold.
Yeah, I should have done that. Instead, I was under a poorly set up lean-to with water running down my fucking my tarp on my body and sapping all my heat away. That was miserable. I slept much better last night with the tarp setup I had at Hunter's Creek. So I've improved a lot since then.
There you go,
It's
man.
all a learning experience.
Good shit.
Someone
I'm-
had a really good question. Oh, I'm sorry, Garrett.
I was gonna say the other thing that that really intrigues me about a game is when the camo rules are not just tan versus green.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and there's not like 800 factions.
True.
Wait,
'Cause when
you
it's-
like it when it's just tan versus green? Or
No,
you
I
don't
like it. I
Ah,
like it
see.
when it's like tan, green, black, or tan, green, and a civilian faction. Like that's well done, and not just Hawaiian shirts.
Okay. I am of the opposite opinion, but
Yeah,
what are you gonna say, Eric?
I like less factions. I think less
Yeah.
is more with
Oh,
factions.
I like less factions too, but I appreciate it. Like Desert Fox, I love their camo rules.
True. They
See-
allow you to run some non-standard stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Mark and I were discussing it like pretty extensively when we were there because I think we kind of both share the same opinion that we wish events were more standardized when it comes to like uniforms, like only all green and only all tan, because I have a really hard time seeing like multicam as a tan color. And since most people run multicam at like any event where there's like a NATO faction or like a tan faction, I cannot tell the difference. To me, at a distance, it's green. Like I just see green. So
But see, that's why I love that Desert Fox has like solid tan and the gray and the blue.
yeah,
It's like when I went to Southern Strike, I wore gray G3 combat pants, a blue polo, and a tan helmet. Like it was great. I love that.
the solid colors, that's fine. Like I'll make exceptions for that because it does help like that a lot of the tan people like wear blue jeans, which makes it like really easy to identify them, or they'll wear like all gray kits, which that's also really easy. But then when there's so many camos at DFE, like it's crazy how many camos you see out there. You'll see like, M81 and you'll Tiger Stripe and you have like DTS and then you have multicam and
Yeah,
then
but
there's
the
like
colors
Digi
are-
everything and
If the
ATAX.
colors are predominantly like prevailing with the uniforms, I mean, there's context clues outside of the uniform of who's bad and who's good,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because everyone's got like the armbands and the patches, so those help.
and
like,
also
but-
which way they're facing, and challenge and pass and IFF with your squad and your platoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll get like there were a couple people that at the just this last event where they had like combat shirts that had multicam sleeves but green like shirts,
Oh,
like
that's
torso
weird.
and
That's
back.
the Russian
So-
stuff, I think.
I
Yeah,
was,
that's
like,
gonna be
looking
risky
at that
stuff.
and I was like, what the
Well,
hell?
and that's
then
that's straight up not. Yeah, that's just straight up not within the spirit of the rules.
Yeah.
Or with the rules at all.
like people who were wearing like multicam tops, but then they had like really odd pants that were like I guess they were sort of like tan colors, but they really just looked green. And from a
Well-
distance, like a lot of times I was mistaking it for like just
But you know what
regular
the thing is?
woodland or something like that.
In my opinion, if you fuck up the uniform rules and end up getting friendly fired all weekend and you bitch about it,
You deserve
you
it.
deserve open
Well,
mockery.
that and like there's so many and this, nothing against people who buy random Chinese shit, but like if you're buying Chinese multicam, it's not actually gonna be fucking multicam. It's not gonna look like tan fucking multicam like it normally does. There's so many people who buy just like, oh, let's get this pair of Wish.com combat pants that are like 15 different shades of green and pink and shit. Like it's like no, it's not. It's not gonna look like what
Well,
you
why
thought
can't
it
we
was gonna
just,
look
like,
like.
Get rid of multicam and just only allow like like whatever it is. What's the other one? Like multicam arid
Yeah,
or whatever.
Arid
Like
is the
Yeah,
tan-based
but-
one.
why
because
can't
that's-
arid just be it and no more multicam for tan because it's just too confusing. Like I mean,
Because then
Multicam
it's
is
a good
only
camo.
confusing
Like
when people buy the knockoff shitty multicam.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal multicam is super tan, but
Yeah.
the knockoff shitty multicam is where it gets into an issue.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess if everyone was like running Cry or something like
You
that
don't
would
even
help,
need
but-
to run Cry. Like, as
No.
long as you buy a brand that, like, not only does it have that, like, Cordura
shit,
logo, but it
one
also
second.
has, like, the officially, like, its official Cry licensed material.
Like, this is my keg top. It's multicam. It's like
The other thing though,
very
is
very tan.
it looks pretty green though. Like it's got a bunch
You're
of green in it.
colorblind.
I don't think so.
Well,
man.
the other thing though is
looks hella
maybe
green.
just because we're so used to it. Because here's the thing: the multicam debate. I remember that from like 2007 when like
Yep.
multicam was starting to be a thing. People were talking about multicam being too green.
Or, like, 09 or 2010. I remember there were a couple fields that banned multicam. You weren't allowed to use it at all because it was too confusing at the
Some
time.
fields
Yeah.
ban multicam
Sucks.
again.
Well, vitamin lead brings up a good point. It's like it comes in a variety of colors and.
Oh, is that
like,
vitamin lead? I think I was calling it vitamin lead.
I mean, I'm gonna
Fucking-
guess it's vitamin lead. I don't know, but like I was saying, or like he was saying rather, it comes in a variety. Like depending on who you buy it from, it can be different.
Yeah.
And then like
It
if
does.
you're buying USGI shit, or if it's flame retardant, it might have like a weird green tinge to it. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I
the
guess if it was
Gore-Tex.
more standardized.
The
Listen,
Gore-Tex is a
here's the thing.
brighter
Ultimately, I
color.
don't really care if multicam is banned because, like, oh no, I can't run keg kit, but that's for Milsim West anyway.
Yeah.
But
Just get
because
full
Milsim
UCP
West,
and then you're fine.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, there I could go UCP. But if
Oh,
I
it's
if
so
they ban
gross, I love
multicam,
it.
I'm just gonna start using Desert Tiger Stripe for everything. Oh, woe is me.
Tricolor desert tiger stripe. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh,
Desert Tiger.
And speaking of that, there was a whole group of guys running the Tiger Stripe with the multicam gear at DFE, and it's just so good, that combination.
Oh yeah.
Like the which
Yeah.
Tiger Stripe?
Vietnam tiger
So,
stripe.
Regular, the green
Oh,
one.
Vietnam Tiger Stripe, not
yeah.
the all-terrain Tiger.
No. The this old school. They had like the old school, like we were looking
I
at
know what
those
you're talking
pictures. Yeah, the special
VNTS.
forces guy were
Yeah.
wearing. They were
Yeah,
wearing.
with that style. Ah, that's
Yeah.
so hot.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
what I
that
wore to.
style.
That's what I wore to Maelstrom. It was just mwah, it was chef's kiss. It
Yeah,
was
it's-
such a
I
good
have-
combo.
I have the
Beautiful.
Golden Tiger backpack from LBT.
Yeah.
It is. I was not expecting it. I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
It's neat, but I don't know. Like, is way more yellow and tan than I was expecting it to be.
What's our opinion on rules about gear colors? Then tan gear for NATO, green gear for us. For
The
I
gear
don't
color
think gear
shouldn't matter.
I don't care
Yeah.
about gear color. Yeah.
Gear color is different. It's like I don't
If-
care.
If you're doing an impression, you're gonna match whatever the impression is.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing an impression, then I mean, ultimately, at a certain point, how nitty gritty can you get with restricting gear color before you make the event kind of inaccessible to people
Yeah,
in an
'cause-
impression group?
Getting uniforms is like so much more inexpensive than, I mean, obviously depending on what uniforms you're buying, but they're typically so much more inexpensive than gear. Like
Well,
gear is always
oh, yeah.
more expensive, and
And-
all the pouches and nonsense that you're
It's
putting.
funny
on
that
there.
I see people like willing to totally shell out for insane plate carriers or whatever, and then when they have to like get like the combat set or whatever, they cheap out with something else.
Get
but they're
that,
like, "Oh, I'm not
Sweet
gonna get that. I
Emerson
just wanna
live." Yeah.
gear or whatever.
Well, and that stuff's. I feel like a lot of that stuff is super overrated too. Like if you're not looking to spend a shitload of money on gear, like Tricolor Desert and M81 just like raid modded BDU sets, you can get like that's perfectly
and
fine.
anyone who says that those aren't aesthetic as fuck is just wrong.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
great
it-
looking gear.
There was a whole group running Tricolor Desert, and I hadn't seen that in so long, and I was like, I don't understand why I don't see more of this because it's so good. Like it just looks amazing. Like especially in the desert here.
Yeah. DNC Desert Night Camo is overhyped. No, nothing.
It is
It's
overhyped.
it's
Like,
yeah.
It's a cool pattern. I have an original parka and every
Yeah, I do too.
parka set, but like, I'm not gonna wear it to an event.
No, it doesn't like it doesn't do what it says on the box, and at this point, it's just a fashion kit.
Well, the problem, DNC doesn't work against modern night vision.
It didn't work against night vision at the time.
It didn't even work at the time it was invented.
That's
No,
true.
it-
That's true.
it just
really
glows.
doesn't work against modern.
Yes, it works very not well against modern night vision. Yeah.
We have a couple of comments complimenting my cop stash from Cards 32 and oh my god, the other guy.
What?
I just had his comment. Luke Brown.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my stash.
Where's your stash, Ian? You fucking coward.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry that my body is simply incapable
It's
of growing fucking
It's
facial
that
hair.
thin pencil line that he drew on before we started the podcast.
Yeah, man. Listen,
Mustaches are peak airsoft.
I'll
aesthetic,
do what I
just
did at
saying.
the first Saratov and just like color it on with fucking like face paint.
Oh, dude. Oh, I should bring back the black metal face paint.
Don't do that.
Should I do the mutton chop for Saratov?
Yes, I will.
Just shave here.
Yeah, dude, just rock the Captain Price like mutton chops and mustache.
Yeah. I remember I shaved that in the hotel right before Saratov, and then when we got out to the field, there were a couple of moments where, like, because I have a nervous tick that sometimes I'll just, like, pick at my beard right on my chin, and, like, a couple times I reached for it, and I was like, oh, God, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I totally forgot.
Oh man.
Let's see. We have a question from Gustav G. Bork. Classic FAL or SA58 OSW? And my answer is neither.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to pick, if I'm getting an FAL, I'll get like the L1A1, like British style, just because I mean
The SLR. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the original. That's the cool
That's
one. But I
classic.
don't really like the FAL. I think it's I don't know. Not.
See, I would OSW, but that's just because I'm a way smaller guy. You would make that gun look like a pistol.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that.
I
Eric
think
makes
the
machine
G3
guns
is way
look like
cooler
assault
than the
rifles.
FAL, is my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. 308's like
Dude,
308
even
battle
my
rifles are
G3
dumb
is
as fuck.
ginormous.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of gun.
Unless you're
FAL
running like
so
10
chunky.
pounds.
yeah, FAL is chunky, and unless you're running like a actual like a designated marksman or like a designated marksman kit, like there's no real point in running like I guess if you're running like a SCAR, like cool, but even still, it's like oh I need a G3 or a FAL or God forbid it's a baby FAL, and then I'm gonna have to I'm not even gonna get
Oh
into
god!
that.
Speaking of 308 battle rifles, yay or nay on M14 EBRs for keg?
You're allowed to. I'm gonna make fun of you though.
You are allowed if we have DMR
Yeah, if
slots
we have a
available. For
slot
some
open.
reason, everyone wants to run a freaking DMR.
It offers no additional
And I'm
advantage.
gonna tell you right now,
I mean,
if you
M14s
can't
are
make
sweet.
if you can't make the keg ruck standard, then you absolutely are not going to get a special weapons slot.
Yeah. Keg ruck standard is 3 miles in 1 hour, so a 20-minute mile.
3
which doesn't-
miles in 1 hour with,
With
your
35
weekend
pounds.
sustaining.
Yes,
or
with 35 pounds. That
Which
means
is easy.
Thank
That is an
God.
easy standard.
that's not hard.
I make the standard.
Yeah. I'm fat as fuck right now, and I can make the standard. I have to, otherwise I'm gonna
It's
get
starting to
I
sound
was gonna
very
say, Ian, you
try-hard
kind of
again.
have to.
No.
Literally,
listen, we don't have
we
PT
don't kick-
standards.
we don't kick you out of keg for not doing the standard, but we're gonna not allow you to run your fucking EBR if you can't make the standard because
Yeah.
EBRs are not cool.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
cool.
here's
They're
the thing.
appropriate for the camp. They're not cool.
If you're running a DMR at MSW, just keep in mind that like, unless you're somehow magically getting 300 feet out of 3.2s, which you will not, that's all you're getting issued. You're only getting 3.2s, so there's no real point in running a DMR over a rifle.
Yeah. Well, I thought you can get point
So,
fours.
Yeah, no,
Not
okay,
at
so
MSW.
well,
No?
technically,
There's a way.
3.2s
Yeah,
or
there is a
2.5s.
way. I thought.
Yeah,
I
okay.
know that they got
According
point
to the
fours
tax
at
office,
Ac-
right?
second surgery.
according to my recent conversation, I mean, I'm our cadre for fucking Saratov. You can technically bring your special super cool dude BBs with you in 500 BB like increments in bags, and you'll take your initial issue of 500 BBs, then hand the rest of them off to your platoon sergeant. That being said, there is no guarantee you're going to see the rest of those BBs ever again. And if you get killed and you get searched, you have to hand over those .55 or super special Malverich BBs or whatever you shelled out for, like.
The .63s
yeah.
or whatever.
Well, we have a buddy who has .69s, but like, yeah, I'm absolutely not like.
Nice, by the way.
Yeah, nice. If everybody in keg starts showing up with like fucking .48s or whatever, I'm gonna be like, no, just run 3.2s. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna keep track of 5 different types of ammo.
You guys are gonna hate me for my next blank fire project.
What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be an EBR?
Is an EBR.
Garrett, that is
Why,
such an
Garrett?
expensive
Why?
gun.
EBRs
It's not
are
that
cool.
bad.
EBRs are not cool.
They're so heavy. Listen, the
Thank
M20,
you
like
all.
the
EBRs are
Delta,
not cool.
the Black Hawk Down M14 is aesthetic. Like, I have no problem with the Black Hawk Down M14. That's cool. Like, that's fine.
I actually don't want to do an EBR. I want to do an early GWAT M14.
Yeah, those are cool. And they're
Like an
don't get me
M21.
wrong, they're pieces of shit, and they perform.
No.
You have to rebed them every 500 rounds.
So
Woodstock, Knight's Armament, upper heat shield rail, proper scope, Harris bipod.
I'm not even looking at chat because people are gonna be talking.
Hate
about
all you
EBRs.
want.
One guy had a question that how spicy do I want to get with this? Thoughts on the T-Rex Arms video about airsoft is training?
Airsoft is not training.
stop.
It's not.
I wish that freaking video would just get deleted off the internet because it just makes me so annoyed.
I
every
gotta
single
say
time I
that
see
video
it.
made me cringe out of my skull.
Yes, exactly.
Because my biggest issue with it, one of my biggest issues, was the part where he mentions, well, these milsim games are a great way to get onto these training facilities that normally civilians don't have access to. So, you could just leave the game and like go use unused parts of the AO and run your own drills. I'm like, so let me get this straight.
I think I just puked in my mouth a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, so let me get this straight. You're talking about all these benefits of airsoft as force-on-force training, removing the force-on-force portion to go LARP even harder with your fucking dry fire drills. And also, you are leaving the event that you paid hundreds of dollars to attend, ruining the experience of the people who actually want to play the fucking game by going out and losing accountability with your fucking chain of command. And you're going to unused parts. There are no unused parts of an AO at a milsim event that aren't unused for a reason. Like, you're either going to a dangerous part of the AO, or you're totally unaccounted for by game control, which is a liability issue. So how much of a businessman
Or it might.
can you really
Here's the thing.
be
It
when
might.
you're telling someone to go fuck off and ruin liability?
And much like fucking, like, I don't know, Seneca Army Depot, it could be owned by someone who is like just not actually okaying the fucking AO.
Yeah, and I get
Yeah.
it. Like, maybe in the context of like the game he went to was a Guardian Center, so you're not gonna really run into that type of issue. But that to me shows an ignorance about telling a large audience to just go to these games and go to an unused part of the AO. Like, a lot of people are dumb as shit.
Listen, you two
And
can be special.
I'm gonna
All
have
you
a
got-
hot take. I think
Yeah.
that video was just pandering to a new segment that he finally was able to connect to.
I'm sure. Listen, man. I'm sure that like you two can be special on YouTube. Just make a Slickster ripoff, join a cult, mag dump into trash at 4 yards on a flat range.
And maybe that's my issue is I don't like rival cults, so I'm predisposed to not really care for most of Lucas Botkin's content. But
Yeah, exactly. Now that being said, he does have like there are some very informative videos on that channel. I'm not gonna lie, there is some useful shit that I've gotten from his.
Lucas Botkin is obviously a very good shooter in the context that he trains for, and from what I understand, his products are generally pretty good. But I did not like that video.
No,
I didn't like that video. I take specific issue with everything that was in that video, just in the fact that, and also I don't like the intersection of a lot of like, I hate to say it, a lot of like cringy fucking borthery type dudes who think that they're gonna fucking be Civil War superheroes. I don't like attracting more and more of those types of fucking people, and I think that that's fucking weird and cringy, and it gets so fucking bad.
Nope, I gotta remove that comment, but that's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, like, you know, I just don't like the way that video was presented. I don't like the fucking image that it gave for airsoft, and I think it fundamentally misunderstands that it's a game. Yeah.
That was, by the way, nope, that comment was hilarious, but I do have to delete it for reasons.
But it's so good.
It was good.
There were so many jokes at DFE. The jokes were coming nonstop.
We'll talk about that after the podcast. Regardless. Yeah, man, I mean, here's the thing. Like, we all can, like, I don't know, man. I really do think that a lot of that, like you're saying, the intersection of people who watch those videos and play airsoft are just, I don't know. I too can have fantasies about overthrowing the government for legal reasons. That's a joke. We don't actually want to do that, ATF. But here's the thing: like, airsoft isn't training. Long and short of it, it's not training.
That's my thing.
There's no way.
I have done some pretty serious firearms training. I have actually, you know, gone to classes and done training with handguns and rifles. I own guns, and I believe very strongly in the Second Amendment. But, like, you can divorce airsoft from training. Like, it's because airsoft isn't training. It has too many limitations. It has too many problems, and ultimately, it's a game. To me, airsoft is as close to real combat as Call of Duty.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, like, it's not even remotely indicative of actual combat. It's a game. It's meant to be a game. It's not a sport, by the way. It's a hobby. It's a game. Like, you're not. It just doesn't accurately simulate, like, I guess in some of the close quarters battle stuff, maybe a little bit, but even then, not really.
The thing is, I think there are parts of it that can carry over. Like, I think getting the repetitions with the weapons handling, getting the practice of communicating and, like, doing that type of stuff, I think that type of stuff can carry over. But if you are in a capacity where you really want to be training for whatever, then you should be doing professional training outside of airsoft and then just practicing maybe those skill sets. But that's just basic game theory, like, at a certain point.
If you set up a scenario and a proper environment, sure, it can be a viable training tool, but going to a milsim event expecting that is the wrong direction.
I mean, then there's a reason why, like,
you do get a lot of practice with rucking and outdoor skills for, like, milsim West events.
Yeah,
Hot tip.
Physical fitness, but that's really it.
GunGamers pro tip: if you want to get some actual training, go ahead, go for a ruck, do some land nav. If you want to be some sort of super high-speed special forces badass,
like, just throw 20 pounds in a backpack and just go hiking.
Go hiking. Go camp out in the woods and do some bushcraft shit. That's going to be way more useful than learning how to adjust your hop-up on your .4 BBs and your fucking gate-tightened-out Mark 18 or whatever the fuck you're running. Like, there's plenty of really useful outdoors shit that you can do to improve yourself as a human being, rather than going to a fucking airsoft event and think you become an operator because of that. That's just the long and short
and honestly, for most people, here's the thing that this is going to be a hot take, and I might offend some people, but I do find it a little odd how many people want to focus on training all these gunfighter skills when they literally can't ruck.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say it, but
or they don't know what to do when somebody has a heart attack.
Yeah, they don't have any medical training at all. Yeah.
Well, you need to. I think the training most people should be doing, based on our large cross section of society. I mean, we have an obesity epidemic going on. The training most people should be doing is physical training and getting in fucking shape. I'm sorry. It's something I'm passionate about. I believe that, you know, you should focus on your physical health and your physical fitness for the myriad of benefits that offers.
Well, Eric, you used to be dummy thick as well, so you can speak to this.
I was gonna say, you have overcome. I don't know the best way to describe it, but, like,
being fat.
You really take that to heart and put it out there. Like, I'm gonna do this, and you did an excellent job.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't
think I could ever do what you did.
yeah, but hopefully most people don't have to. Like, don't let yourself get to be, 350 pounds. I would recommend not doing that. Been there, done that. It wasn't fun. But yeah, like, absolutely, that to me is something that so many people are like, I'm going to train to be a gunfighter and do all this gunfighter stuff. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Can you run a mile?
Yeah.
Like, and like, maybe there will be a situation where being trained to be a gunfighter will help you in your life. You might have to fucking defend your home against a home invader or defend yourself in public with your concealed carry weapon. You might. But it's a lot more likely that you're going to have a heart attack if you're carrying 40 extra pounds of body fat.
So when I was
and a lot of people will focus on the less likely scenario because it makes them feel like an operator and not deal with the ramifications of the more likely scenario.
No, if you walk around as a tub bucket your entire life and decide to
Joshua Williams says, I used to follow 5 fat guys.
I'm laughing about that.
I'll score them.
Damn.
It's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
really fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe that's...
Let me interrupt here.
No, totally.
Like, when I was in the Scouts, the Boy Scouts of America, we learned a lot of different skills, but the key takeaways from all of it is, like, you need to know this skill in the event that it happens, but you also need to know another skill to prevent it from happening. Like,
absolutely.
it's one thing to know how to make a lean-to out of natural materials and to be able to keep yourself warm at night and to be able to find clear drinking water and stuff like that. But what you should know is make sure that you have accurate maps, you know how to follow and orient yourself when you're hiking. That way you don't get lost in the first place.
Yeah.
It's
and
a completely different set of mindsets.
And that ties into my mentality with,
map
like...
reading's so important.
Yeah.
And that ties into my mentality with, like, firearms training, too, where, like, because, again, I absolutely love firearms, and I own the ones that New York will fucking let me, but all that shit. But firearms training and, like, being proficient with shooting is one part of the overall skill set that should go into being a skilled, responsible gun owner. There's also de-escalation, not getting into stupid fights, keeping sketchy people away from you, situational awareness out in public, all that type of stuff. And that stuff isn't trained by airsoft. That stuff you have to learn everywhere.
How about instead of learning any of that, I make sure I focus on being able to mag dump into trash at 4 yards and have a sub 2 second reload.
Listen, that's fun, and I love doing that too. But airsoft isn't going to help me get better at that.
Or he tried to bump fire an M1 Garand.
Yeah, that sounds
it's
like
a skill,
a lot of fun.
but it's not a worthwhile skill.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of, like, skills that people try to invest into that are completely not worthwhile whatsoever. It's like, oh, I could be learning another language, or I could learn how to do this one really stupid thing that sounds like a lot more fun.
But that's the thing. Ultimately, I mean, I guess we're hating on people who are just having fun, which is dumb. Like, absolutely, have fun. Like, do whatever you think is fun. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, you're having fun with it. Admit that you're having fun with it, and it's fun, and it's cool, and you're having fun, and that's awesome.
But don't treat
have
it like
fun.
it's a fucking like it's some sort of skill that makes you, I don't know, better than other people. Like, no, doesn't make you an operator.
We beat this horse to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. Oh God.
Let's move on.
We're coming up on 2 hours. We should probably be ending pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, shit, we are.
Eric, you got any more good questions?
Let's see. Let's do like 1 or 2 more good questions.
I have one more funny story too from
go for
Is
it.
it funny or cringy?
No, it's a mix of funny and cringy.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so because I was telling Ian about this. I think it's related to the night game. So we set out for the night game, and we got, like, again, a little bit lost in the beginning because everyone kind of split up and they didn't really designate the spawn
map
points
reading
super well.
important.
I mean, I am very good at, like, understanding the map of Victorville because I've been at that AO like a ton of times, but when it's pitch dark outside and I can't see any landmarks, it's a little difficult. And when the app doesn't work for me, that kind of makes it, like, even more difficult to understand, like, where we're supposed to be, like, spawning. But we kind of had a general idea of where they were going to be and where we were supposed to be, so we just, like, ended up taking a walk and sneaking around, and one thing led to another, and we end up in the enemy spawn basically, or like right outside of it. So we see like, yeah, we see like a bunch of tan dudes all gathered up, and I mean, we didn't really understand they were tan dudes at the time, but then you start hearing them like barking sweet orders at each other, like, "All right, bros, we're gonna like go over here about 3 clicks west and take building 426."
yes,
We're like, okay,
multicam orders.
those are definitely tan guys, So we set up, and we see 2 guys at the front of the pack who are kind of just hanging out. They're not like, they don't look dead. They don't have their dead like belt on, which is like the thing that you have to have for DFE. You have to have one of those like reflective
A PT belt.
belts or whatever, or like a vest. They're just standing there, and they seem to be looking in the direction of the friendlies with their guns. So we're like, okay, like let's take them down. So Mark is like, all right, I'm gonna take the back one, you take the front one, and let's count it out. So we're sitting there, we're like, all right, 3, 2, 1. We both shoot. Mark hits the guy. I hit the other guy in the face. I kind of hit him like, he had a very small face pro on, and I hit him like kind of underneath his face pro, like on his cheek. And the dude just freaking flips out. He has no idea where we are. So he just assumes that the fire came from ahead of him where the rest of our team is, and he just goes nuts. And he's like cursing and yelling. And my favorite thing of all time happens is he's like, all right, we're going to fight right now. Like, right now, just come out here. Come on, put your gear down. Like, get your fists out. Like, we're going to start fighting. Like, he's like, I will take you down. And they're just like, he starts getting into that macho, like, mentality where
Jesus Christ.
He's ready to just, like, put all the airsoft, like, completely out of his mind and go straight to, like, fisticuffs. Like, it's
So
so
you might want to work on
nuts,
that temper before you get back into airsoft.
Yeah, it's like if
Come on,
anything,
man.
if people need to work on anything, they gotta work on their freaking attitude instead of like how fast they can draw their pistol from their holster. Like, it was just so nuts. We just filmed the whole thing because we're sitting there in the darkness with the nods, and Mark's got his 4K night vision camera and the psionics like at this guy, and we're just filming the whole thing like take place, and these 2 guys they just basically start like walking towards our team and like dropping all their gear and going like crazy. And then of course, like out of nowhere, Josh, the like impeccable savior of all milsim, comes out of the darkness, and he's like, that's it, you guys are out of here, like take out your gear, like you're out.
He's like a fucking umpire, yeah.
Oh my god, dude, he ended that shit so fast, and the guy was like,
Love it.
but he's like, but you don't understand, like those guys shot me and I'm already dead, like, and no one can tell like who the hell's dead at night. Like, it just, if you get shot, like you get shot and you're just like, hey, like I'm dead, like please don't shoot. But he's like, no, I don't want to hear it. I hear you guys like try to start fights, and I know you guys instigated it. Like, you guys are out of here. Like, I don't want to hear it anymore. And that was it. Like, he just took care of that shit so quick. Like, that's why I really appreciate Josh as like an admin. Like, he's just on it always.
Josh doesn't take any shit.
No,
He
never.
does not take shit.
He just dishes it out, and I couldn't believe how fast he turned those guys from like the biggest men on the field who like had balls the size of like freaking like basketballs to like the smallest like little mice of like all time. That
Well,
was
it's all
kick
fun.
me off the field, please.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until the ticket that you spent like $100+ on is null and void because you let your ego get hurt.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Don't get angry. It's airsoft,
And it's crazy because like one of the guys out there who was on their team was like, hey guys, like come on, remember what Josh says, it's airsoft, like we're all just like out here with toy guns, like playing dress up, like let's just chill out. And I thought like, oh, like this guy knows what's up, like he's gonna save his team from like ultimate embarrassment. But no, they just kept on their like tirade until it was way too late. But it's crazy, man. So that'll be in the next Brain Exploder hype video.
Oh god. Single most useless item you've seen brought to any weekend-long event. Connor Walden asked that.
Oh,
Bolt cutters.
Ooh.
a combat
most
ladder.
useless.
A fucking breaching ladder.
Well,
A breaching ladder. That or a breaching hammer.
people use breaching ladders at the Georgia Air Force Base because a lot of two-story buildings.
It's like, oh yeah,
they're,
dude.
They're
You know,
pretty useful.
okay, yeah, it's pretty useful, but like, what else could you
But
carry
bolt
instead of
cutters?
like a 35-pound breaching ladder? It's like, oh, well, that dude who could have been carrying, I don't know, like a 240 or something like that. I was like, no, we're gonna be able to.
rolling duffel as a ruck.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
Okay, that's just embarrassing.
For me, it's
Well, so
yeah.
Ian, apparently at AMS, there's an EOD, like, specialty role, and their job is to carry bolt cutters. It's apparently, and they do
Well,
not fuck
yeah.
around with the locks at AMS. Like, they're
I've s-
actually legit hardened
Okay.
locks.
okay.
I know for some special missions they say like you should have these items and
Okay.
they'll like help you complete the mission.
If
but
they're
Yeah.
cool
other than
with
that,
if they're cool with me bringing a goddamn breaching ram, I will absolutely bring a fucking breaching ram.
Bring
That
a
being-
Halligan or whatever the hell it's
A
called.
hoolie tool, yeah.
Hoolie tool.
Yeah, that's fine. Like,
Uh,
I will absolutely bring these items if they're like, yeah, you know, you could use these. Be like, all right, Eric, you can carry heavy shit. Here's a breaching ram, and you know that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. But if it's like if you're showing up with your sweet ass milsim team that goes to your has never been to a milsim event, it's like, oh, we're gonna show up to MSW with a fucking with a combat breaching ladder, or a breaching hammer,
I'm
and a
gonna
goddamn.
have a hot take to answer this question though.
Let's hear it.
Chem lights.
Nah,
Every
chem
time I
lights-
brought chem lights, I
Chem
never
lights are
used
useful.
them.
I saw
They're
chem lights at
useless.
the SEU. So dumb. Why people have these?
I have used chem lights, but only like one or two to mark a CCP at night,
Yeah.
or to mark the
Okay.
location of rucks.
You do a buzzsaw.
literally,
you know, I've
I'm
used
talking
chem
I'll
lights,
accept that.
buzzsaws.
I've at most used 2 chem lights over the course of an event, and it was at Balcar Surge. We used IR chem lights to mark the locations of our rucks when we went on an assault.
IR chem
That
lights
was
are
it.
neat.
That's pretty hype. I like that. But what someone's got like 20 chem lights like dangling from their plate
Yeah,
carrier, I
that's-
just have to
That's
laugh.
because they're trying to like match what the Spirit Systems Instagram guy looks like.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
too
because in
much.
the real world, obviously, people are like, oh, well, we cleared this room, so we drop a chem light or whatever. But that doesn't really work in airsoft, because you might be clearing the same building multiple times over the course of an event.
Yeah.
And even when you leave the building for like an hour, somebody might just come back in. So that chem light is useless.
An
Once
hour.
you-
You could have 2 teams come in the same building and then not see each other until after they've
Yeah.
exited.
Easily.
No, what you
Especially
gotta
if there's
do-
2 floors.
You gotta chop them open and then use the glow juice inside in order to fucking do face paint. It's badass. Look like you're
I
at a,
Definitely good for your skin.
yeah, you're at a rave, man.
All right.
Any
Should
other
we
questions?
have some closing? I mean, there were some
Closing
other questions. I
remarks?
can use them for something else.
Don't bring a
but I think-
breaching ladder.
Oh my god. Well, I don't know. If you have a strong opinion of why you should bring a breaching ladder, then I'm sure you can figure it out.
Leave it down in the
Uh,
comments. Tell me I'm an idiot.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure we'll have plenty of hot take comments for some of the comments we made, but that's okay. That's okay. I like the discussion.
It's not the first time we've had it happen, but yeah, man. Go
Anyone
home
wanna
show
close
for
off with anything?
yeah, man. Excited to be back. It's good to be
Hype
back.
for Saratov
It's the
is
go
real.
home show for Saratov. I'm excited.
I got my gear layout finally done.
Yeah.
The months of planning to get the perfect
like,
gear layout.
dude. Sorry, dudette. Um,
I'm honorary, dude.
Dude is
Fair-
a
fair
gender
point.
neutral term.
Yeah.
At this
dude,
point.
okay,
Dude,
if
man,
dude's gender
guy. It's like
neutral,
I
then
get it all the
dude.
time.
Gender
I-
neutral pronoun.
I remember, like, I first packed my ruck with everything I thought I needed. I put it on and I weighed it, and it came out to 48.5 pounds. I was like, okay, I've clearly fucked up. Let's try this again.
Should
Took
bring
a
an
bunch of
AT4 as well.
No, that's without the AT4.
Only 48.5 pounds? Come on. Rookie numbers.
Now it's down to 40. I took out a bunch. I had oh my god, I had 6 grenades in there, I think.
Why?
Shh.
Well,
Well,
I'm
anyway.
12, so.
Wait, that
Anyway,
doesn't sound like
we're
enough
trying
grenades.
to close out and not go down another route.
Yeah, now
True.
we're going down another thing.
Yeah, Kaylee, anything you wanna close out with?
Watch out for meth labs. You gotta keep your head on a swivel with those meth labs, man.
Yeah.
Some dangerous stuff
They'll
out
just
there.
pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, you never know. You could be walking through an airsoft field and enjoying a good time with your other buddies who are like 14 years old, and you might run into a completely fully stocked meth lab with booby traps and cameras. Just try not to get killed before your prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I'm hyped to
Um,
be back. Hyped for Saratov. Hyped for AMS. Just
Hyped
glad
for
that
Keg.
glad that we're picking back up.
Yeah, man.
Keg,
Maybe
keg,
more
keg,
podcasts in the
keg,
future,
keg,
hopefully.
keg.
Yep.
Yeah.
And more regular content, hopefully. I don't think I'll ever go back to like a video a week like we were doing in our prime, because I don't know. I don't want to force content, but at least a video every other week I think is a reasonable
I think a video every other week. Do the CN Arsenal method.
Oh,
They do one every other week.
Do it as the content itself becomes. Make it natural. You don't have to do a
Yeah.
video every other week.
That's kind of where I'm at. Is like I don't want to force content for the sake of it.
No,
Because
there's no
everyone's like,
point shitting on
"Oh, this
content.
long of a break is gonna kill your channel." Milsim Us packing video broke 10,000 views in a week, so like clearly it's okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
At the same
GunGamers-
time, we're also not sub chasers.
Yeah, I guess not.
We're not view chasers. Like we want to
But-
put content out there that's like gonna benefit people.
Yes, try to be helpful.
So I'm spending 1.5 to 2 years doing BB tests.
Yeah, Garrett.
Shut up.
Anyway,
Yeah, man.
It will come. It
you
will
wanna read
happen.
this out, Ian.
GunGamers Podcast, episode 30 with the homies. Hopefully many more to come. We'll catch y'all later.
Peace.
Bye.